the dust on a cracked old road. Hat tilted forward, shadows that load. Eyes burn deep like a fire untamed. The nation he loved now barely the same. A voice like thunder, he calls out the lie. Where did the promise go? Why did all die? He holds up the past like a mirror of truth. The ghost of our father screams for our youth. Resurrected aid with a heart full of rage.
Yeah, good stuff. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. It's been a few days since I was able to stream, so I'm glad to be back. I was out a bit because my back was hurting so bad. The first day when I heard it, I came online right after. And I was kind of wincing the whole time, but it got to be too much, and I don't know. All of the other things that are already issues in my body were set off by it. So it was like everything was ticked off and mad at me the whole time. And so there was a little bit of being laid up in bed and a little bit of recovery time. And then I spent some time today stretching and getting stuff done. And it still hurts, but it's not what it was. Man, it was like can't barely move bad. So I'm glad to be back. I figure tonight, as a first day back, I'm gonna ease on in, ease on. And so, I figured I could jump into some panels, other people's panels first, and then I'm gonna set a goal. And if we can meet the goal, then I will do an open panel after that, where we can talk about current events, things going on, all of that. So I'll go ahead and set that first. Gonna do this. Gonna do... let's see. Poll. We'll do that. And... let's see. I think that'll work. There, we'll do that for an open panel. Hopefully we get some people rolling in. I know it's been a few days, and when you're not on often enough, what happens is people tend to lose interest and they don't come back. They come back, they just don't come right back. So that is harsh sometimes. So good to see you, Not Voltaire. Good to see you, Panelverse. What do you think? I think I might go over and see if... let's see, who's live right now with a good panel? You guys tell me, who do you see online who I should jump into their panel? Because I don't even know who all's on. I was busy playing video games earlier, and so I don't even know who's open to viewership right now. Oh, Cool Vic is hosting a debate. And Speakeasy is hosting a debate. And Andrew is live, I see. Well, that is interesting. I picked a funny time. Usually I go live 2 hours later than right now. That's my usual time, right? 2 hours or more even. Sometimes it's 3 hours from now. So tonight I decided to go early go live a little bit early. Not go early a little bit live. That sounds weird, and it doesn't even make sense, so... yeah. So, anyhow, let us see what we've got going on here, guys. Good to see you, Live Long Liberty. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. Do you guys see any good panels out there that we could hop into and stir some questioning of their wisdom? Because, like I put, wisdom in search of wisdom. We'll see if people have any good answers for topics for the world itself, right? Crystal Live Speakeasy. Yeah, I see those, and I see Cool Vic also. But I don't know. I saw Confluence is also live. I thought about jumping up there with him, but it looks like him and Big Soda are just reviewing some, what are they doing? They're reviewing the Anna Kasparian thing. So is Indian Jesus right now, evidently, which is funny. It's funny how everybody seems to review the same thing at the same time. Like, something happens, and then, like, 6 channels are doing reviews on that same topic. It's like, I get the idea behind that, but it's also kind of silly. Like, why would everybody want to watch the same thing over and over again for the whole day, right? Like, I don't want to watch the same content 4 times in a day. So if you're all going to watch the same thing, what's the point? Like, why not just like multi-stream it if that's the case? If you want your audience to see what you're all putting out, then why not all of you just stream the same damn thing? Like, I don't know, man. Israel, wokeness and dating. Like, I don't... Woke versus left. Like, both of them, same idea on their titles. It's like, I don't know. And what's being debated at speakeasies? Should we abolish the Electoral College? Wow. That's a feisty one there. Don't you think? Don't you think? I don't know, gents. I don't know. Let's see. There's just nobody doing anything interesting. I mean, a lot of interesting stuff went on. And it's funny because they always want to watch whatever's popular culture, right? Like the Anna Kasparian and Bill Maher. It's like, why would I want to watch Anna Kasparian and Bill Maher? Like, neither of them hold any opinions that I give a damn about. Neither of them are significant or important to me in any way. So why do I need to go and watch them argue? You know? Like, why would I want to do that? So, or talk about their philosophy of the world or whatever it is. Like, it's not even worth it to me. I'd rather talk about the fact that, like, Volt sent me good information about things going on in Canada. That's stuff that should be talked about. A neighboring nation who's making moves the way that they are, we probably want to be aware of that as the American people, don't you think? So, I don't really want to talk about Anna Kasparian or Bill Maher. Although, you know, they are culturally relevant in some way because they have audiences that watch them and care about what they're watching. I just don't care about them. So, what's the point there? Let's see. I guess we'll look around and see what we can find. I was kind of hoping that somebody would have a panel where I could jump in and do like little mock quizzing on them to see where they stand. What is that, Voltaire? Who did that? Is that Angry Tacos? Gospel of Bob? Okay. What are they... You guys in the chat, tell me what those channels are like. What are they about? I never really watched the Breakfast Tacos guy, and I haven't watched the Gospel of Bob in a while, so... Did we? Captured a Venezuelan oil tanker, huh? Fantastic. What was on the oil tanker, though? Fatty. Uncle Fatty. An atheist debate channel, you say? What do they debate? Everything? Oh, holy crap, they got a huge panel going, actually. I see. Let's do this. What we'll do is we'll peek in on some of these channels and see if we should jump into their channel or not. Just because it's an oil tanker doesn't mean it has to be carrying oil, Uncle Fatty. You could actually have an empty tanker carrying all kinds of things. You could have a retrofitted tanker. You can have all kinds of things going on with that. So it's a huge vessel capable of carrying lots and lots of stuff. The question would be, where was it bound for, and why would we stop it? And how much information does the general public actually have of what's going on? Because people like to backseat quarterback or backseat drive, you know, and they don't have all of the information. To make any real claim on those kinds of things is really difficult to do, especially from a military standpoint. Wow, okay, breakfast tacos seems weird to me. Jim Bob's gone on there, hasn't he? Jim Bob's gone on breakfast tacos before. He's argued with breakfast tacos as well, right? Let's see.
Fails, and if the fundamental
Let's see what we see here.
at some aspect of the universe, which you implied could happen, right?
Yes.
Then they intended X. X did not occur. There is no.
Oh, look,
intent
Duck is
to
on
do
there.
the same thing as this God. So there must be something.
Duck who blocks everyone all the time.
Is there like a
For no reason, by the way. I've never insulted and never even been in a real fight with him, and he blocked me. Just blocks people because they're conservative.
Can I say
Dave is
something
bringing
real
a
quick?
very
Can I
different
just-
point. 1 second, Duck. I just want to make this point. Jeff
So what, Duck went from the tomato to breakfast tacos now? Is he just I swear he just surfs whoever's panels and like gathers some following if he can from them and then moves on.
No, you're on the right track, Kurt. But it's actually
Well, that's the only option you have open
exactly
after saying there's not some other person who wants bad
Yeah,
things to
I
happen.
I think he's just saying that it's
I
possible
see.
that the designer could fail.
Just one example.
100%.
Just one
The same as
example.
just like
Really, they only debate Christianity mostly? As in they're trying to put down Christianity.
Of the
Lion.
structure that he designed.
So-
They invite Christians on and then try to own them and make them look stupid.
no,
when there's a
not
failure.
not necessarily, not requires. You
That's
see,
what
when you
Jeff
say
said.
Requires. No, he didn't. It's that it's more likely that's, and if he said that, then he missed.
Okay.
Right, Jeff?
That's what's going on at breakfast tacos. So we'll see what's going on the other one here, because that's a panel of 12 people. That's a freaking big ass panel. So let's see what we got for the other panel. Let's close this. Close this. Sorry, guys. Okay, so that one's got 12 people on it. What does Gospel of Bob do? Is it the same difference? Is it the same idea?
A lot of people just
Here we go.
violence among black people. And so when I went to see John, right, I use the term pull up because yes, I did pull up on John. But
What's this
I don't
channel about,
use
gentlemen?
That term as I'm going
Somebody let me know what this is about.
with John. Why would I go be violent with John? We both have too much to lose. Right, and so John, I
Open
I
call-in.
went to Brooklyn, right?
Does anybody know what they've been talking about so far?
And then whichever part of Brooklyn John was in, I went to see him, and we had a conversation. That was it.
Conversation.
Now, now let me just
Which
say-
one
let
is
me just say
Bob?
this, Let me just say this: a lot of people want to view that.
Whose
as-
channel is this anyway? Like, who on this channel's channel is it?
All of you guys are soft because black people always.
Anybody know? No?
But there was.
Can you hear me?
violence.
Can you still hear me?
And so
I hope so.
blacks were not satisfied.
Hey, Marin, good to see you. I'm thinking about doing some panel hopping, Marin, until I get the dono goal, and if I get the dono goal, then I will open panel.
Our charter
If I end up feeling like it, I may just open it early anyway. But
It's
Yes.
we shall see.
Tuition-free public schools, funded by tax dollars. While there might be some
Let's see. This is kind of a funny
Take that down, Leonard.
group of people here.
Take that
did
down.
I
Hold up,
did
hold
I
up,
not?
hold up, hold up, hold up.
Oh, so we gonna mute. We don't want to hear the truth now,
Hold
huh?
up, Leonard, what are you trying to prove? Because the man
I'm trying to
said-
prove.
Is this the Gospel of Bob channel owner? Does anybody know?
Said that. He said charter schools are.
Do we know? Or does he just host it and not be on it?
Listen to the conversation.
But the man said charter. He said you're correct.
And I
charter
said
schools
parochial schools
free.
are not free.
I'm gonna
He said charter schools are
Hold on.
free.
Exactly. And I
So
said
what-
parochial
what-
schools
what-
are
what
not
is the
free.
point? I'm just trying to figure out.
That is
say
the
parochial
point. Free is
schools
not free.
are
Hold up,
free.
hold
He
up,
never
hold up.
said parochial schools.
Let's see how
I
I'm
just want to know
received
what is
here.
competition, what is
Where
the-
am I right
There's
now?
no competition. I'm just stating
Leonard,
a matter
Leonard,
of
hold
fact.
up, Leonard, hold
What kind
up.
of strange place is this?
Because the man just sat up here and
Let's see what we can find.
correct. Charter
I thought about jumping on Confluence. If these don't
said that, but
show anything great, then I might
regular public
still
schools
go over there and screw with.
didn't say that
I like screwing with Confluence. He's kind of fun to screw with.
schools. They are public schools, but not like it's like charter schools. Like you're in a wealthy or well-to-do area.
Let's see what we get here.
School, basically, he said he never said that. You
Let's
had
see. Should I do a poll? You guys want me to do a poll
other than the regular public schools. That's it.
And
I guess
on the poll, or you lose your soul, right? But
wealthy areas in
I could do a poll,
Stop
actually.
that.
Let's do that.
Just stop it.
Let's do some fun stuff.
I want you guys.
Boom.
Hold on. I want you guys to notice something about the
Start.
Negro. I'm gonna point. Now I'm gonna get on my CT. You notice this guy said cities, so he decided that I lived in a city. Pay attention, guys. Pay attention.
Oops.
Go ahead.
I don't know what I just
This guy
did.
said that his children are enjoying their white privilege, but he's black. It's impossible for his children to be white if he is their father.
I guess my confusion was I was asking it like how much it would cost to
I
have a
don't.
kid.
That sounds like ag.
Did not say his children are enjoying their white privilege?
Didn't that sound like Agripolis? Didn't it?
White privilege? How do you have white privilege and you're not white?
Does he understand the meaning of white privilege?
Hold on.
You feel some type of way because I called you on your bullshit.
Poll.
You can't rebuttal it.
No.
Do you
can't clap back.
understand the meaning
can't
of
clap
white
back.
privilege?
You can't clap back. That's all it is. You can't clap back. So
Sir,
deal with whatever you deal with.
Sir, I know you
can't clap
feel
back.
like you
Bro, you
won
can't clap
something.
back.
I,
You can't
I
clap
know
back.
you feel
Let's
like
see.
you
You
won
can't clap
something.
back. You
But
can't
if
clap
you
back. That's all.
understand the meaning
You
of
can't
white
clap back.
privilege,
That's all.
when you look at Will
can't
Smith's
clap back.
children and all of that, they live in white privilege. They actually live higher than most white children's kids.
Okay.
Sir,
whatever.
you are not that smart. That's what I'm saying.
But
You're
you
not
are that black
smart.
and your
You do
children are
you do
not white.
understand the
You are
meaning
that
of
black
white
and your children are not
privilege.
white.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. You know what?
Yeah,
You know
your
what,
children
Leonard?
can't even
You're
classify
correct.
themselves as white on paper.
You're correct.
Latinos
You're
can
correct,
classify
Leonard.
themselves as
Leonard,
white.
you
Can't
are
they?
correct. You are correct.
I know I'm correct.
Hey, you know the
Why won't it let me start this poll?
jacked up white truck.
Hold on. Something's going on weird here.
On the front, right?
A black kid.
And you ain't guess who will jump out that bitch.
Yeah, I saw that on the internet.
Okay,
Big.
well,
freaking
This is
news.
acting so weird.
That's what American man is trying to explain. It's
I
not.
don't care what he's trying to explain. I'm just making conversation as I watch the news.
All right, what's up? What's up, Arlen? What's good with you?
Because he doesn't
Hey.
understand.
Hey,
he
Shorty
doesn't
Snapper.
understand the term
What's going on, Shorty
white
Snapper?
privilege. He does not.
Where, oh where?
How you doing there?
Happy hump day.
That was a lot of
Ciao.
fun last night.
Hey there.
That was a lot of fun last night.
There we go.
We had a good time.
Let's do that.
For sure.
Oh, we had a
What's
blast.
going on, fellas?
Oh, not
Happy
much.
hump day.
I could also go stir the poo at
Ooh.
the after panel on Swords of Reason. That would be fun as well.
They cannot classify themselves as
But, you know,
I'm burnt crispy black, and so therefore
four score, Doomerang. Welcome.
you are correct.
Whose facial hair? This guy? Are you talking about Uncle Bill?
You are correct.
Yeah, no, I'm correct.
Is that who we're talking about?
Promise Bob
This guy?
what I would do, and I'm
Or are you talking about my facial hair? I'm unsure right now.
You are correct.
Now, CT. Now, that's
Very unsure right now. Right now.
You are correct.
Watch that bomb. Watch that bomb.
Where are we going? Where are we going, ladies and gentlemen? Where are we going?
with a V.
I was gonna add Swords of Reason to that, but oh wow. Make sure you all vote now. There's 11 in the chat. There's only 5 votes. Let's get a vote in so we know where I'm going.
Right? Hey, listen. I'm on a new leaf now. I'm a terrible person, and so therefore they must.
He does. He looks like he came straight out of a Dr. Seuss book for sure.
No, you don't believe that. I could smell the facetiousness.
You asked.
This is gonna be.
I know.
It looks like most people are saying Gospel of Bob.
With her next.
Come on, people, get them votes in.
Birthday's coming up soon. It's almost-
Got 11 people, 7 votes. You could turn the tide. At this point,
Here's the thing.
your vote matters a lot.
Realized
So,
something the other night, and I'm just like, you
just
know
saying,
what? It's just not worth it.
your vote matters a lot.
So I'm just like, okay, you know what?
What do we got? What do we got?
Have it. You're
What's
correct.
what is that?
I'm
What's
a
X Society?
person, and so therefore they all must come at me, and I do not know what I'm talking about.
This one's a British one,
I'm on a new page,
and none of them have cameras on.
Good.
What the shit?
Love that for
What
you.
is that?
I love
That's
that.
a great Beatles song too.
Man, these panels, I tell you what. We got 13 people in chat now? Oh man.
Guys,
So people just joining. Should I join Gospel of Bob's panel
I know you haven't been feeling
or Confluences
I know
to cause some stir-ups?
I was gonna wait till y'all got up here because I wanted to see. I don't know if y'all heard. I was gonna wait till Mazes and.
And can anybody tell me who the host of the show is? Is it Skywalker84? Who's the
You getting more charges because
who's the host of the show?
No,
I haven't, but I'm not.
Since I feel like you guys are sending me here.
because she, I guess,
Hmm?
you know, all the stuff that was going on. She said she was in on it, or not in on
All
it.
right,
but-
ladies and gentlemen, give me just 1 second. I will be right back.
more charges
Watch this for a moment,
against,
and I'll be right back. I gotta use the restroom, and then
Sure.
I'm gonna probably end the poll and jump onto one of these. So
Christina, you know the one that was really like running his whole shit that kind of just disappeared before the
Yeah.
like hasn't been tried outside of her, I think, or someone big from the alcohol company or something.
Yeah.
These people are just. I mean, I don't think they're gonna have much of an effect.
Talking
but
about like
we'll
the
see.
Sherrod company that he was with.
Yeah.
That's what he was under.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, whatever. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me personally with the whole thing, anything when it comes to this rap music and whatever from the get-go gate, when it falls apart badly, I applaud and laugh because I really detest that music. I really do.
I mean, I feel they signed their lives, their souls away, or contract, and it's time to pay their dues back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
This is the
You really think there's
a devil thing to it?
No, but the thing with me is this. Now, there was a group, the first one, it was called the Sugar Hill Gang. The song that they made went triple
Lennon,
platinum.
hold on, give me a minute. When I'm gonna use the bathroom, when I get back, I'm gonna play this video. Go ahead though.
Okay. Sugar Hill Gang. That song went triple platinum. And those guys didn't get rich at all. I was like, what the hell? What in the hell? That's when I knew the music business was pure D garbage.
I think a lot of
Those
people
guys
back
never
then
got
were
rich.
getting. I think a lot of people back then were getting taken advantage of contractually. Guys, the way this is gonna work tonight, guys, 12th man, the way this is gonna work tonight is that we wait till someone finishes speaking, and then we talk.
I'm
Sky
just
doesn't.
wondering
No,
who
but
has
okay,
the
honey, honey,
beatbox.
honey. But we weren't done with our conversation. Okay, Skywalker doesn't feel well, so I want to make this chill. We don't need to be talking over each other. Okay, just give us a second, and then
Okay.
we'll go to you. Okay, babe. Thank you. Yeah, I think that back then people were just so excited to get signed and to do their thing that they all got taken advantage of contractually. People weren't really reading their contracts until much later. So they realized how much the music was going to make and how much they weren't making. Because Diddy got away with a lot of that too.
Can I also add to what you're saying, RLM? I don't think that these guys also realized. I don't think these guys realize they need to have lawyers in a room like how they have now.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was very different.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, if you think about music and what it was and what it became, I think we hit a prime of music around that time. The 70s, 60s was like really just, and then in the 80s, and they didn't understand how big they could get, how music went global, right? And these were young artists. They were just excited to get started. And contractually, when they saw the money that was coming in, they're like, wait a minute, I mean, all those artists under Diddy pretty much ended up being broke. Look at TLC. TLC ended up being broke. There's so many of them.
Ooh, I'm glad you brought them up.
Yeah. Hey, Bob.
But TLC
RLM
wasn't
is
under
actually
Diddy.
worse. It's actually worse today with this thing called the 360 deal. It's worse today.
Well, hold on, and now I'm going to attempt. I'm going to attempt to make a reasonable argument. Today, the 360 deal is gone.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, you guys.
Internet age.
Who's Bob, the girl, or this guy, or who? Look at Gospel of Bob.
They proved that. They said that he was.
Which one of them is Gospel of Bob? That's what I want to know. Does anybody know in my chat? Can anybody tell me which one it is? Because I'm confused at this point. I don't know who's who.
Production. I mean, we can all produce at home now.
Oh, Bob is Bob. I see. That's new.
What it is nowadays is what it is nowadays.
All right, what do we got? What do we got on the poll, boys and girls? What do we got on the poll?
You know what I mean? They don't even listen to like rappers and shit like that. Like I seen one dude, it was like one of them real billionaire businessman saying that shit. Hollywood scared.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They don't even listen to
Here we go. We're gonna jump in here, boys and girls. Are you ready?
Yeah, I mean the 360.
It looks to me like that's what you want.
The 360
So,
deal, I think, got exposed, and see a lot of people.
all right.
Okay, so
I've never been on this channel, and I don't know any of these people, by the way.
do not understand the way the game.
So, I wonder how they'll take the top hat.
If you're a person that has
What do you think?
studied it and watched closely, and just not on a surface level, you would understand that T.I. exposed the 360 deal. And then after
All right, I guess.
360 deal got exposed,
Oh, I gotta
Young Thug,
break through here.
right? And
Can I
that
turn the video some? What do you mean?
once the streaming services and
Turn up the vid some. Yes, I can. Sorry.
things came along,
Is that better?
people have realized that, hey, the 360 deal is scam, and I could.
I'm gonna have to
make it
drop this video.
straight through the streaming services myself. Now, I can tell you guys.
Hold on.
who
Hold
and
on. Might
where
have a
and
change of
why
plans.
that
Hold on.
started, but I'm not going to because I understand what that's going to lead to because of people's emotions.
Yeah.
And so
when you get
Go ahead,
done, man,
Adam.
let me play this
I'm
song.
just going down the
Yeah.
history. That's it.
Oh, there's a change of plans happening right now, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the
There's a
one
change of
that-
plans happening right now. Hold on. Hold on. Something exciting is transpiring. Something exciting has transpired. Okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh. Check. Okay, so check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. I'm going to share something on screen before anything else so you can all see it. And I want you to do me a favor and go over and like and subscribe to this person, okay? Bree is live right now. She's doing a painting. Make sure you like and subscribe to Bree Rodriguez. She's a legend from the space. She's awesome. Go give her a like and a subscribe.
Especially if her
Okay?
paint is still wet.
Please
If you
do.
feel like
Please
it
do.
hasn't been blended enough, you can use a dry brush, go over it, and
Okay. She's got a little bit of lagginess happening right now, but
go over it.
anyway,
Again,
make sure you like and subscribe to Miss Bree. She's awesome. She's
Just do an outline.
very helpful to the community. She's very active in the community.
Clouds as
So,
well.
anyhow, oh my.
So
So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. That's a big surprising excitement there.
before,
So
besides the
we're gonna do. Stop sharing now. Okay. So make sure you go over and like and subscribe to Bree Rodriguez's channel. She's just starting out, it looks like, and I'm sure that I'm not sure what kind of project she's going to do, but that's really exciting. So, okay. So back to what we were doing prior, right? Oh my gosh. They're watching crazy stuff now over here.
My situation now, he's up in her face. That ended up pushing
Oh
her,
my
pushed her
gosh.
out the door. That, you know what I'm saying? She fell on her ass and all that other shit.
Now, peeps, it appears that Diddy will potentially face additional criminal charges after the release of Sean Combs' The Reckoning hit Netflix. Now, this documentary has got the whole entire world shooken up right now, and a lot of brand new details are coming out.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
50's life, but also his personal chef is coming out and giving a shocking
Thank you for sending the link out there, not Voltaire.
while she was working
All right.
with Sean Combs.
I don't even know what they're talking about. And I don't know anything about freaking Puffy.
Hey, yeah. So, anyways, Neil, if you happen to tune into my stories, just wanted to know. You know, I feel like
So what should I go in there like, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen? What should I go in there like? Because this is going to be interesting. I don't even know what to bring up or what to talk about with these
Let me
people.
ask you a question, Sky. Even before we go down that rabbit hole, they can't just add on to the charges, can they? He would have to be retried.
All right,
Right?
here we go. I'm just going to drop this. I'm going to drop this. I'm going to enter the StreamYard. I don't know this guy at all, so we'll see if they even care to let me up. This will be real interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Real interesting. Hold on. Wait a minute. What did that just say? Hold on. I gotta find out what I just missed. Hold on. Sorry. I know, dead space, dead air. my gosh, this is being so dumb right now. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying to get everything lined out. Running 2 StreamYards is weird, and then keeping everything running and keeping my mic from having a problem. I'm trying to make sure all my settings work all right. Although I will say, since things got changed out a little bit and I moved, things have gotten better, a lot better. Okay. I gotta close out a bunch of windows too, because this is drawing way too much power from me. Way too much of my power here. Okay, I gotta keep that one up. This is so weird to do, you guys. Okay, here we go. Jumping in to Gospel of Bob. They're gonna, oh my gosh, I'm coming in as Abe Lincoln on Gospel of Bob. There's a little bit of, let's see how this goes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how this goes. Hold on, I'll share this real quick. I'll share the whole sign-in process with you. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Boom. Share screen, studio, share. Here we go. There it is. Getting ready to jump in. Boom.
Not only that, but like Maxim. Oh, Lord have mercy. Guys, give me a second, 12 man. She just wants to maximize off of the documentary.
I don't like it.
Catch on the coattails. This
This guy.
Yeah, I'm a special cook.
That's on you to hold up, y'all. That's on you to bring this guy up, man.
Nah,
All right,
something about him I don't like, man.
I don't think that's real. I think that's a recording.
I'm real.
Might be real.
I'm real.
Hey, kick her in the back off the Brooklyn Bridge.
Hey, get in the chat. Tell us who you are and all that stuff.
Okay.
We've been having problems with porn bombers.
That's fine. I can do that.
What's up, Abe?
Just another streamer. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Wow, they booted me so quick. That's hilarious. Wow. Wow. That was quite the reaction. Come back in a minute, he says. He says, come back in a minute, Abe. What? Do I even want to go back now? I don't know. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go bug Confluence then. Sorry. Not gonna deal with that shit. They like immediately they're like Abraham Lincoln, F that guy. What? Oh, is it? That sounds fun. Yeah, that was very disrespectful. But, you know, you don't know somebody. They didn't ask me any questions or anything. They didn't say anything to me. They didn't even say anything in the private chat. They just shook their head no and said, I'm not buying it. And then booted me. And said, tell us about you in the chat. I'm like, okay. Never mind. That's fine. I'll just go to Swords of Reason and argue with them some. That'll be fine. I can cause a ruckus on debate. That'll be more fun. Especially if they do hot seat, because hot seat's kind of fun, right? So. Okay, go away. Dismiss poll. Thank you. Jeez. This poll wouldn't even let me click the link. What's going on here? Stop sharing. That one. Close. This is so crazy. I didn't know Gospel of Bob was a little bit smaller than me too, which is funny because sometimes it's helpful to have people jumping in from other channels, but hey, whatever. I'll do this again, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
Aligned with other people across other states, then their votes would outnumber the city, right?
There we go.
But right now, it's just
But, okay, so I might have to do some number digging myself, like, because I can guarantee you take all the large wow, I'm stumbling over my words.
Metropolitan.
all the large areas around cities, the large population areas, and compare them to the rural areas in the nation. I'd actually be curious in the numbers.
Sorry.
Yeah, I might have to do some digging.
I was getting some double volume. That was funny.
No, I was going to say, Mr. President, you know something about dividing up a nation, bringing it back together. Why don't you tell us what you think of the Electoral College?
I say we suspend habeas corpus right now, and you know, when people can't talk, they just do what they're told, and it'll be all right. Just wrangle up the rebellious ones, and we'll call it good.
What was that about rebellious ones?
No, I think I think we live in a far different time than Lincoln did. So
hopefully it stays that way.
What do you think of this, Pat? I seen you trying to chime in there a minute ago.
No, like bass player guy. Like, dude, I dig bass. I'm a drummer, so I lock right into the bass.
All right, let's start a band. Let's do it. Let's do it right now.
It's who's gonna sing?
Yeah, good question.
So
probably Speakeasy.
So like I'm listening to all this like cities, rural, like that doesn't matter anymore. It does. Look at the county map. Just look at it. Look at it. Like for the past 20 years, 30 years, whatever. Look at the county map when it comes to the presidential election. Yeah, it matters. Like it's right there, right in front of your face. It's exactly the same. It's oddly, I'll say, it's oddly a beautiful reflection of the original idea of the Electoral College that those guys could have never predicted in 2024 or 2020, whatever, right? It's a beautiful reflection of that. It is rural surrounding urban, 100% across the map, every single time. And that shifts, right? Boom, like Obama got elected, right? Second term, boom, elected again. But still, when you look at the map, it reflects what the Electoral College is, the spirit of it, everything it's ever been. And it doesn't matter anyway, because the Electoral College isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Like, there's not going to be a constitutional convention anytime soon over that.
it wouldn't just take a constitutional convention, right? If we had a full-blown civil war, it would go away right quick.
It didn't last time.
Well, there's not going to be a civil war. Like that's I don't know if that's more absurd. I don't know. We might actually get a civil war before a constitutional convention.
Do you think districting states kind of like Nebraska and Maine would be a move to make?
If it were done nationally, I mean, I think there's like a tit for tat type thing. So I don't think, when Nebraska was talking about doing it, Maine was talking about undoing that in Nebraska. Maine was like, okay, you undo that, we'll undo ours, right? And then it balances itself out. I think it would have to be something where you would That was
What,
actually
the-
the 1950s.
So congressional-
you realize we were still a nation founded of states. That is still the same. Like every state has its own constitution.
Well,
own
there's
laws.
also
And we
multiple.
adhere to some
Sure,
universal.
but-
Well, there's
Yeah,
multiple
the
arguments
state-
on this
That's the
too.
whole point.
The states elect presidents. Technically, you could have a dog race, red versus blue.
Do you think the constituency of the president is the states or the people of the United States?
It's not a federal election. It is the states choose who's going to be the president.
Right, and the people choose
Technically-
who runs the states, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Right,
mean that
correct.
was even when it was, if you there.
But none of us ever actually technically. You've never voted for president in your entire life.
I agree. Yeah, and nobody knows who they vote for.
No, we've put in a
That's
vote.
why I'm saying you could have a dog race. The
We-
states could. Georgia could say we're gonna have a dog race.
Right.
Right,
Well, yeah.
and that would be corruptible, of course. But
Well, and I think that there's a lack of.
For the Civil War.
I think there's also a lack of education on this, right? Like people aren't told your vote, not anymore anyway. People aren't told that your vote goes to your representative. Your representative is supposed to see your will forward, right? And so,
And that's why you elect your representatives.
that's a
Yep.
different
But
election. yeah.
originally,
But it's still like it all trickles down. You start at voting at your representatives in your state level, and then it continues the process from there to the federal level.
Well, you
Like
would
that was the whole intention behind.
yes.
yeah,
and
and
you would be much more invested in your state representatives if the electoral college was playing out the way it was intended.
Yeah,
Actually,
I agree with that. I
You know,
again, I
because
said
they
needs
were the ones
reform
that
and
picked the
fixing
electors.
because
Yes.
it's screwed up right now. But at the same time, that's because of how states tend to govern themselves, and so like that state has the right to do
Yeah.
that. And there is a lot of
That's the dog race. yeah.
there's a lot of yeah. There you go, the dog race.
I have a
I'll
question.
coin that one. I'm good with that.
You think we should follow what South Carolina did for like 100 years, where they just didn't even hold a general election and the state legislatures just picked the electors for the president? You think?
No,
do you think we?
what would lead this conversation to make you make that assumption? That is
No,
not
well,
what we
I'm-
were saying. We
Yeah,
were
I'm-
saying
I'm okay with
as
people voting. You know,
Yeah, well, no, but I'm
as
saying
a voter, I vote for my state first, so the representatives determine and help me vote for the feds.
because in
like-
the federal constitution, that's completely allowed, right? You don't nowhere does it ever say you have to hold votes for presidents. All it says is electors, the state legislatures, to choose the time and manner of the
correct.
well, if we're being
Now,
fair,
Well, and that's per
That's the
state.
dog race.
If we're-
And you vote in your state for your representatives that again can amend their own state constitution and all that stuff too. So
right, but
like
let's be fair about the election part. Like, at what point in American history did the people have a vote for the president in the first place?
Never. They don't. now.
Exactly.
I-
So,
Yeah.
what change has been made?
Technically, it's proxy though. It is done through proxy. So
Right.
that's my point. Is that originally, yeah, they're like I said, that's why I keep bringing up.
you
South
don't have a
Carolina.
right though.
You
You have no constitutional right to vote for president.
Well, some people have. Well, never mind.
The states that they've implemented that, and so that whole function of the electors, like where you weren't even supposed to know who was running for president, you would just think about people from your state who you trusted, and you would elect them, and they couldn't be. That's why they couldn't be elected officials, right? Because they were like, well, we don't want to have. If you look at the qualifications for electors, they can't be like elected officials. But now they're all just chosen by state parties, right? That's how the electors are chosen. The DNC
Not-
in the state say, okay, these people who contribute a bunch of money, they're going to be our electors, and they're going to vote how we tell them to vote.
Wouldn't you agree, though, that separation was a safeguard in its origin? It was a safeguard against the people rallying together and putting somebody into office at a whim, rather than there being steps between that safeguarded from just the whole mass doing a democratic wash and moving us into a pure democracy?
I don't know if I would cite as that as being like the goal of that. I think that's a little bit anachronistic to look at it that way.
It was. Oh yeah, it was. Are you kidding me? It was totally their goal, dude. Like the founding fathers were not fans of democracy, which at that time meant only one thing: majority rule.
Well, not
And
direct
so
democracy.
That's why
I mean, it's been a while since I've read the
that's why they
Federalist
broke
Papers,
it
but
up.
there's a whole debate on direct democracy and how that was essentially mob rule, which is not what they wanted anyway.
Voting for a president was inherently not direct democracy. Direct democracy would be no presidents, no Congress. Everybody just votes for everything.
But you're saying populace. It's single person, every vote counts. Single that would be.
That is a direct vote.
That would be a popularity contest.
Yeah.
But that's not democracy. That's a representative democracy, which the United
And it
States
is. I mean, just
Okay, I think we must be talking past.
Without representatives, there is no representative democracy.
Yeah.
I mean, well, just look at the historically presidential elections are a popularity contest for the most part.
True, but without the representation in between, there is no representative democracy. At that point, you're saying because the two people who ended up at the top were at the top, there's a representative democracy. That doesn't make any sense, because if you had voting all the way along to decide who those last two were, all that way, it would still be a pure democracy. You wouldn't have any representational democracy at that
And
point.
you could never have a protected constitution ever, because you could vote it and you could just majority vote it wherever you wanted to go.
the Federalist 10 as the guide, that he says very explicitly that there's no representation in a direct democracy, in a pure democracy.
Right.
There's no
Right.
representation. It says
We
all
agree.
in person. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with the examination. But Hamilton gave another speech to the New York Ratifying Convention where he goes through the whole thing, and he's like, look, nobody knows what the fuck a republic is. Nobody knows what the fuck democracy is. So I'm going to lay it out. And he goes through and he lays it out. He's like, look, sometimes people talk about republics to talk about
To my chat, is this
like,
better? Am I
Sparta
still blowing
under
out?
kings, right? That's a republic. That's not what we're talking about. He's like, and he
Is that better?
quotes Rousseau and Montesquieu about it, and he's like, look, all
Let me know in
democracy
chat.
is that the people of
Okay,
the country.
good. I turned
hold
down
the
stuff a little
ultimate
bit, turned my
power.
gain down a little bit, and
Right.
turned
And he goes on to say, he's like,
the volume
even
down
if-
just a
and this
tad
is-
as well.
This is before the Constitution's ratified, so this is talking about the electors as it's supposed to function, and talking about the Senate as it was originally intended, with the state legislatures doing that. He's like, look, all of these offices, they all trace back to the people, right? He's like, he says the House is directly elected by the people, right? The Senate is done by the state legislatures, which is the state legislatures are elected by the people. So the people, if they don't like the
Right.
Senate, they can change their state legislatures. He says the president is by the electoral college, which is decided by the state legislature, so also by the people. And so he says so that makes us a representative democracy.
Yep.
And he talks about these different. It's a great speech. Unfortunately, we don't have like he didn't write it out like word for word. He outlined it, but you can read the outline, and he does explicitly say that the Constitution sets up a democracy, representative democracy, obviously not a direct one. But he talks about the power is inevitably coming from the people, which is what Montesquieu and Rousseau both said were democracies, which are type republics.
Yeah,
every political
lot of
position is representative in some way. Like, yes, you could say we directly elect representatives, but we are electing those representatives to then vote on legislation essentially in our place, so that everything isn't being voted on by
Civics,
a popular referendum.
Civics,
Right,
bro.
running
Yeah.
on policies, elected on those policies, and then representing the will of the people per their state. Duh. Yep.
And this was
I
another.
thought you encouraged civics class.
just how
Wasn't
it
that the
works.
thing?
We don't learn it. They
Like,
don't do
that is
civics class
civics.
anymore.
That's how it plays out. I mean, that's still how it's playing out today.
Mhm.
Not
Now, if
not
we
as
had-
much as it should, but it is playing out that way.
Now, this was a hypothetical I did want to pose in the debate, and I didn't have time to get into it. And by the time I could have gotten into it, I think I had just forgot until I started drinking enough that it jogged my memory. But hypothetically, and this is not an awful hypothetical where, you know, I'm going to have easy trampled by elephants unless people vote the right way or something of that nature. But hypothetically, if we had an electoral college that functioned as intended on, and I mean on every level, where you had electors who actually did firmly believe that they had an important duty to vote their conscience after the election, after they've been informed of the people's will within their states, would we need term limits if the system functioned correctly? Or do you think you would actually have people who would take the position seriously and go, you know what? I think this FDR guy has had 3 terms too many. I don't care what the popular will is. He's not getting a 4th term in office. I'm voting against him.
Well, that's a problem of perception, right? Because it comes down to what your belief structure is, what your perception of the situation is, and you're gonna base all of your decisions on that framework. And so long as that framework is averse to whatever the opposition is, right? Say you're left and somebody else is right. As long as that exists, they're going to want those term limits, period. It doesn't matter which side it is. Somebody's going to demand it because you don't want your enemy or your political enemy, your religious enemy, whatever it is, to stand in office the whole of a lifetime.
Or even the person that doesn't care and just hears one random thing about it and says, you know what, I don't want that.
And also,
You know,
that
like,
brings to mind something, right?
perception,
That brings to mind something, right? Because this whole republic was built for a moral, good, educated people, and we're not seeing that level of moral good in our society now. We don't even agree on what is good in a general sense anymore, and because of that,
Or if good exists.
Exactly. Because if we take this from a purely materialist atheist position, that's all subjective. It doesn't. Everybody could just have their own opinion on what's good and bad, what's good and evil, and then what? Your political system is going to slowly decay into nothingness because you don't actually have moral anchors.
Yeah, that's why I specifically phrased the hypothetical in terms of having electors who actually understood the intent of the moral duty of the position in elections as it was originally established.
Yeah, I mean,
And if they actually did handle that duty in good faith, you would have people minded in the direction of, nah, I don't like this guy's been president for you could say at that point, let's say they've allowed this guy to be president for 20 years. Eventually you would have enough electors who don't want it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like the way that the Electoral College was supposed to function is so like far removed from how it is today. Like I said, I mean, like it used to be you got a ballot, right? And it was just names of like random people from your state. Not random.
It's only random people if you don't pay attention. That's why the system became flawed, because people weren't taught to pay attention to this, so it became flawed because people were just voting for the random names instead of actually paying attention to the politics of the electorals that were voting for them.
And I would
What
also
I mean by was
Sorry,
that
go ahead.
they weren't people that were like campaigning. There weren't like people that were campaigning to be electors. It was just supposed to be stuff like, hey, you know, so and so is really good in our community. I really like him. He's an upstanding member of our community. I'm going to give him the job of picking the president. That's how it was supposed to function. And I could see something like that happening, but like trying to put that in, like, I mean, how do you handle that?
Wait, hold on here.
We can't cram that into 2025. I agree with that.
I don't know how that would work.
So you're just saying, oh, just because this person's good at this, there's no people voting for them. They just get crammed in there. That's what you're saying?
No. Like what I'm saying is that like on the very, very, there was like only a few states that held like general elections in in the first election. And Washington won, obviously, right? Everybody knows George Washington was the first president. Washington's name never appeared on the ballot. So when people were voting, they weren't voting for Washington. They were voting for like people from their community.
You realize you can still fill in, bro.
No,
that's still a thing.
Washington. Everybody voted for these other people and these other people. And I'm saying I don't know how like these people weren't like campaigning. They weren't, like,
What do you mean by
can
everybody?
still do that.
Sure.
You can
Because
still
that would have
do
been
that.
primarily just like property owners and people that had a say in the public world, right? It wouldn't be the the general populace.
We should go back to that.
They were probably just like upstanding members of their of their communities,
I
businessmen. They couldn't be like politicians, so you couldn't vote for like your state legislature.
It was a rough time. Look, it was a rough time. They were trying to figure things out. It was only white men. That's it, right?
Well, New Jersey had women.
So let's like take us out of America and look at how in another system, like I believe it was a recent African election. I want to say it might have been Cameroon. But you have a president there who was just reelected. He's over 80 years old. He's like the oldest serving president in the world. He's had like 8 terms of office. He's kept changing the Constitution with his party to keep himself in office. And that's under, a system where there's no electoral college. He wins the election. Now, here's the problem. Most of the adult population in that country is under 35. He's been president longer than most of his people have been alive.
It's actually.
And then when he wins, you had a lot of opposition with the latest election crying fraud, and you had a lot of younger voters protesting because they're like, well, most of us want another person in office. Like, how could this guy have somehow done this again? Now, if you had an electoral system and you actually had people voting their conscience, you could have had enough people read the room and go, you know what? I think we gotta do something about all of this here, because we have a bigger duty to the nation and not this old politician and his party.
Well, that's some of where I was going earlier when I brought this up, is because like what would the United States do if whichever party held enough sway decided they were going to start making changes regardless of what is in the Constitution and said, guess what? You're just going to do it, and you're just going to take it, and then you have martial law, you have police hold down, and then one generation later nobody knows that even happened. They don't stand against anything anymore because they don't know any better. And say it's your political rival. Say that they do that. What's to stop that from happening right now in the United States?
The
Constitution.
Right, but the Constitution has to be acted upon. It doesn't actually take action. The people have to take action on behalf of the Constitution.
People have to take action.
And if you have a law,
So when you have an electoral vote, it balances out the vote versus just the populace. It goes back to the big cities will win it all. I guarantee you. I'm actually going to start digging into these fucking numbers because I'm going to have this on my side. I guarantee you add up all the big cities or the area around the big cities, they outvote all the rest.
Look at again, all you have to do is look at the county map every 4 years. Like it's overwhelming.
The problem with the county map is that like Texas has counties with like 10 people. How much
that doesn't matter when you're looking at the entire United States, dude.
Yeah, it does. There's like
no,
3,
it doesn't.
Yeah, there's like 3,000 something counties, and like 1,000 or like 1,500 of them have like.
Hey, look at the county map. It's like all red with little dots of blue that are all urban areas.
I give him this much. He is consistent. He is fucking consistent. I give him that. Like, hell yeah, bro. You're consistent. At least you're consistent with your argument. That's good. Like,
be realistic. Just look at the county map, and even in blue states, you see all these red counties surrounding these blue dots. It's
where
so
the
that
populace
is
is.
the That is the electoral college in our modern world.
Well,
so
And it's kind of a beautiful thing
let's
that
say we
it
did the
played
electoral
out that
college.
way.
Let's say we did the electoral college on like a county basis. If I live in a county with 10 people, why should my vote count more than somebody who
Because
lives
you're
in a
not actually voting for president. We already went through this.
What if you're in a
You're
county that if you don't vote, but let's say the people in a major city near you vote, what if they vote to use your county as a dumping ground for all their trash and you can't do
Listen.
anything about it and they don't care because they don't live there?
Which
sounds like my state.
happens.
You're relying on the president. to
Sounds
that.
like my state. We're gonna shut down all the logging because we don't agree with it, and we want the Green New Deal, but we're gonna import like 35% of our lumber from British Columbia
So-
instead of just doing it ourselves.
One of the things I would
where
say-
we have huge amounts of it, and you cut out all your people because you have no realization of how those people live. You have no realization.
Well, that's everywhere.
Well,
I
and
mean,
honestly, dogs, I think part of that is a lot of people who vote on environmental issues are either willfully or just deliberately kept ignorant of how tree farming works and the fact that we don't just constantly cut into conservation land to get lumber. We grow dedicated areas of trees.
Yes.
well, doesn't that remind you
Well,
too of like
in farmland, and
Tim Pool
we have so many
said-
resources we can.
Right. Tim Pool said he was on an airplane with a friend, and it was a friend from a big city, and they were flying over farms, and there was all the farm layouts, and the friend was like, why is the ground all checkered like that? That's weird looking. How does that even happen? And he's like, those are farms. Did you? And he's like,
That's where the
whoa,
food
you
comes
can
from.
see
I
them?
thought food comes from the store.
Yeah,
Dude,
exactly. That's exactly. And it's like there is a disconnect that is it's beyond amazing to me that the disconnect could be that big, but it absolutely is. Just like the environmental and animal rights activists standing outside of places pouring milk all over the place because of the animals that had to be killed to get the milk. It's like, are you
Right. The main
Whoa.
thing, the main thing is bass guitar is most of us are having nightmares about the idea of a collective of powerful states getting together and saying food is a human right, therefore all your corn are belong to us.
Yep. And my state is primarily a cow state, so now all
I have
the
a thing on that. Yeah, exactly. we
they
do a
already do that
lot of
with water.
farming here with animals and stuff.
like
My
that-
state is
the-
literally trying to put a proposition, an amendment in our constitution that you cannot harvest an animal unless it's naturally died already. Like, what the fuck? I want the naturally dead animal. How is that good for me?
Well, I think the way
Thank you,
you have
man.
to do that, dogs,
Thank you
is
for the Big
just
10.
have to make sure you're using certified organic ammunition.
Oh, that's not Mirren.
Yeah, fair. There you
That's
go.
long live liberty. Thank you, long live liberty. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, locally and humanely sourced letting
It's
gun powder.
natural. It's
No,
natural.
I mean that brings up a good point though. There's a story where a guy hit a giant elk with his truck, and then there was a dispute on whether or not the city was going to allow him to take the elk and keep it because it was a naturally occurring death, but also they were kind of upset with the well, is this going to cause a bunch of people out in their trucks running down deer so that they can claim them without actually having to get a hunting permit and all of
How do you
all of the kind of
purposely
stuff.
run down deer?
Yeah, right.
I mean, how do you do that? You can't
Right.
purposely do that.
Tracking,
Yeah, but
baby.
it brought up a good
That's
question. man.
insanity.
Yeah. So some
That's
states allow
one
you to
thing-
take it. You can
Yeah.
claim it.
Yeah.
Some
a
states
lot
have
of
Well,
passed
yeah,
that law.
it saves them
If you
saving.
randomly
You don't have to
hit
send a truck. Yeah.
a game animal on the road because they jumped the fuck in front of you.
So-
we
Yeah,
all
cows,
we've been
same
there.
thing.
Let me
Like,
ask.
You have the right to do that.
I
Well,
don't even know
see,
why they struggle
in most
with that.
states, actually, if you hit a cow, you pay the farmer for the cow.
With all that we've been talking
as long
about,
as you're in open
At least that's
range.
the story.
with all that we've been talking about,
At
we
least if you're in open range.
Well,
Would
that's
you say-
just the way it should be.
would
so
you say that
I'll say
say like since the Civil War, have we seen both sides' political animus towards each other grow exponentially over time until we got to the point we're at now?
No.
No.
No, I think
Whoa, wait. Say that again.
Do you think that the animus against one another has grown over time from the Civil War till now and is increasing?
No, I think in the midnight.
It's done waves. It's come in waves.
I think
Ups and downs.
it started the uptick in, I would probably say, like the mid 90s. And then it's kind of been ticking up since. But I mean, in like the 80s, no, there wasn't. Reagan won in 1980. Reagan won like huge. He won like every.
Well, don't you think that was because we were comfortable and things were easy at the time? Not because
doesn't it track with the voting age?
Well, we still had
the
some
voting
Cold
generation.
War fear going on.
Right, but okay, so obviously,
You're talking politics,
right? But okay, so obviously we had financial crises in the 80s, right? We know this, but every time where things get bad financially, we see the political parties go at each other harder than they ever have, or harder than usual, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Well, that would
they
be
only work as hard as
dynamic.
we do.
Right. And the populace
That's
has
it.
grown over time.
Hey, the parties are only ever going to play politics. Like, so there's
Well, you saw
really no way around that.
You saw an increase in votership participation.
Well, because
in
it's
2016,
kind of
2020.
Right, but the next step was
it's human nature. You're always going to seek out what you believe versus what the other
Right.
believes.
But is each next
You can be civil about it.
right? But is each next
it's
president garner more power than the last? Does each next president garner more power than the last? Yes or no?
Ooh,
Yes, I would say yeah.
That's a good question.
If that is the case, and the
Yeah.
parties are going at each other harder and harder year after year, every time that we go into a financial crisis, what is to stop whichever one is at the height of its power when it becomes more possible than ever of just toppling the entire stack of dominoes and saying, guess what? We're making changes regardless of what the paperwork says.
Well, yeah, I think that power only
Guns.
increases because of the people deciding to give it to them.
And plus, Congress passing the buck
military
all the
stuff,
time.
Don't
because
you?
Congress
We're
now
pretty
just
dic-
they
we're
all mutually just want
dictatorship
to run.
proof. Yeah.
Don't you think
Congress just seems to mutually want to run for their own next election in their own local area. And so they're just going to continue to pass the buck either to the Supreme Court or to the executive because they are incentivized by the structure of elections wherever they're at to not involve themselves in anything risky or controversial for their next congressional election.
That is
I
a great
100%
point.
agree with that. And I think that's a problem with
I think
us
that's a great point.
as citizens. I think it's incredibly okay. So I thought about this a lot during the last election. A common thing that you heard was, I'm going to bring prices down on day one, or I'm going to bring prices down. But like deflation would probably be a pretty bad thing, right? I mean, does anybody here think that like deflation would be good?
No.
If
we could get it
were
down.
extreme, yeah.
But if
hold
we
on, it'd be
go-
bad.
yeah.
Like,
You want it to kind of like
Deflation
level off
is bad.
and
Yeah.
go, deflation's not great.
Well,
There's
this is another thing. Like we could go into like Trump's
But you-
campaign
yeah,
statements
now you're
from
talking
last
economic
year all
policy,
night, and
you know.
really, it's like his claims with Ukraine. Like he can speak hyperbolically, and people have conveniently decided when that's like a promise, like Ukraine solved in 30 minutes or your pizza's free. That's never what he was
Okay.
saying.
But
He was just saying,
So-
look,
so do
I'm
we
gonna
got
end it
TDS
quick
going on
because
our
I'm going to
hands?
take it more
TDS.
seriously.
There was-
than Biden is taking it
Kind of going off the
seriously.
rails here.
Yeah, my point with
Look,
wasn't that
That's
Hold on.
we had.
I did want to build on what Abe has been saying because I think it's hitting at a major point with an issue that I think both sides could have with the Electoral College, and it speaks to a lot more than that. Because I think when you ultimately get to how the Electoral College was originally established and the role that they had and the power that they had, and we're trying to look at what do we do with this system today, I think the implication when the counter to a lot of the points is always some element of like, well, politicians will just do this or a party will just do that. And I think what we're doing is we're dancing around a concern that people on both sides of the political spectrum are right to have. And what we're not saying is, what really concerns me is I don't think we can find 50 people who have a conscience to actually cast those votes.
See,
as they're intended to be cast.
that's what I was going to do. I was going to drop that final point and say, don't you think that the Electoral College works as a bulwark against that final stance of let's just topple it all and take what we want? Because it's not so simple to do that so long as you don't have the full force behind you.
But when we get to the conversation of should they work as originally intended, I think the underlying concern no one's really saying out loud is I don't trust 207. I don't trust like 300 or how many electors there are in the system to vote their conscience, because I don't think we could find that many people in this country that have a conscience today. And
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome.
That's where I brought up the random
Welcome to
question
Sodom and
earlier.
Gomorrah.
Shouldn't there be voter limitations? Like, shouldn't you be a contributing strong member that really has a reason to vote?
Of course, we need
a reason
voters, not
to
more-
vote
more
other than
voters,
just TDS or
No,
you
I mean-
want all this. My emotions versus physically looking
Oh,
at
tell-
it and
tell
wanting to do the best
me
for
about
yourself and the country. Like,
No, yeah.
come on.
I think that's a good
we
point.
need less voters.
Hold on.
We need
Yeah,
less voters, not
that's
more
what I was.
voters.
That's what I was just gonna say. Is all of this ultimately comes back to is who decides who gets to vote.
For some reason, his mic gets cut off if anyone else speaks at all.
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
feel bad because he's the only naysayer here, and we need to hear what he's naysaying. So
yeah, okay. Sorry.
Here, I can try and do. Let me see if we do this. Sometimes if we do this and just turn them up on my side. Try it now.
Well, easy. That volume was a great impression of Abe you did there.
Yeah, you were loud.
You know what? It's not like I mean to. I can't hear myself, so I don't know that I'm like booming
Yeah,
over
sometimes
everyone.
right when I
Right.
unmute, if I talk right away when I unmute, it'll be super loud. I don't know why it does that.
it's gonna be hard for you to hear after that bad night at the theater. So
Who knows? I might not be able to hear right now.
Oh, sorry, Base, whatever you were trying to say there, Base.
Yeah, Base.
Hang on, I lost my train of thought. Let me try to put it back on the rails.
You're saying less people vote, more people vote.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's necessarily an issue of less people vote. I think it's like, I think if you were to say, okay, we had 170 million, 160 million people vote, we should just cut that number down to like 120, and that'll make things better. I think it's a deeper issue. I think us as Americans, I think we need to be more politically engaged. And I'm going to use a phrase which maybe not a lot of you have heard, but like we need some Montesquieuian virtue, which is kind of what Abe was talking about, where like a good and moral people, what that really was talking about was if you go back and you read Montesquieu, who was like the big guy who influenced the framers, like he's the most cited person in the Federalist Papers and the Anti-Federalist Papers. Everybody was talking about like, oh no, Montesquieu said this. Montesquieu said this. He basically says a republic, whether it be a democracy or an aristocracy, he says it only works if you have virtue. And what he meant by virtue was that you can't really be too self-interested, right? You have to think about your nation. You have to think about your country. You have to think about your good of it. That's why, like in the debate, I mentioned this quote from Madison in the Constitutional Convention when he was talking about having a popular vote for president. And he was like, yeah, it might hurt the southern states, but I think they need to have this like love of country to just kind of like get over it. And I think a lot of people don't really have that kind of civic virtue. That's
why the populist vote wouldn't work.
Yeah, because virtue only exists. Yeah,
But
in a religious sense.
So some people vote non-virtuous just because they dislike somebody.
And keep in mind, I'm not talking about virtue like
not
a Christian
trying to be
virtue.
virtuous. Well,
There's
no, you don't
only
even
one
have
virtue.
To take
Right.
Like, you
There
don't
was
even
only
have
one
to
moral
take that
framework
into
at the time. That was a
consideration.
biblical
Like,
one.
Well, and not just that, virtue is virtue.
Well,
Like either it's
yeah,
virtuous
virtue-
or
I
it's
was
not
just gonna say,
virtuous.
yeah.
I want to do
Secular
better for my
virtues.
man, and my people, versus just having my emotions involved, and I vote against this, even though they could do better. Like,
Yeah, well, you're not,
Republicans say virtue, according
you're
to
not going to raise the bar.
Wait. Say that again.
I see you're
Babe?
not going to raise the
Oh.
bar, so you're not going to raise the bar. Like when I say there should be less people voting, I'm taking that bar and I'm lowering it to what you just said, bass player. Like you have to lower that bar to get into that like quantified area of people that are whatever smarter, more
No.
civic minded, blah blah blah.
well,
Yeah, you can't just like you have too many
I would.
like, people
I think we should
emotionally
raise the
voting.
voting age a little bit, because 18, like, who the fuck knew what they fucking
doesn't
talking
matter.
about
What-
at 18?
here, let's hear
And
Bass
then-
Guitar's
Hey,
take
well,
real quick.
however
Yeah.
you
And
do that,
then
Yeah.
hold
however
on,
you
No.
do that,
hold
Yeah, what?
on,
How old?
It
hold
doesn't-
on. Have a substantial.
No. All that
figure
matters is that you have a
in our
virtuous
culture.
public.
You're a business owner. You're a landowner.
Well,
You're
I
a
just-
military
yeah.
service member.
All
like,
I'm
if
saying
yeah.
is it's ideal. It's way too unrealistic idealism to expect the population to be smarter about voting.
Well, and if you're basing virtue off of age, then you've lost the plot already, because there's people all the way into their 90s that are degenerative
Don't own-
assholes.
Yeah, don't
so
own property.
I didn't say that.
No, but
Yeah, I wasn't going on that part.
I'm just saying that the age changes nothing. You're going to get the same result, regardless of whether or not you make it a little bit older or a little bit younger. Sure, people get more conservative as they age, but you're still going to see people that never, or they started so far left that they end up not even in the middle by the time they aged out. So, like, I don't think changing the age gives you any up or down.
Yeah.
No,
It doesn't
it's
remove
just-
the problem. I think it just scoots it over a little
The-
bit.
The
Hey,
problem is there's too many people voting. So you figure out
well,
how to change
If you agree with that, yeah.
that number based on whatever criteria that you think's necessary.
That's the tricky part.
You want to hear a chunk that I
outside
think
of
it is?
anything unconstitutional.
I think we extended adolescence into late adulthood, and everyone has suffered for it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
look,
basically,
we have
have
restrictions.
actual experience to know what the fuck.
rental car companies got it right when they rent a
Hey,
car
look,
before
I mean,
25.
there's
Well,
a
it's
reason
feminism.
why there's a reason
Well,
why
of course we've
10-year-olds don't
extended-
vote.
Of course, we've extended adolescence. We already extend high school 4
No.
years and call it college.
My point is, how many 30-year-olds do you know that act like they're 15 on a daily basis at all times? It was not like
Too
that
many.
throughout history. When you're 15, you're working a
Age
job. You
wasn't the
understand.
major
You understood how your country
Age
worked. You
wasn't the
understood
major
how the
point.
farm works, how the community works.
Let's
You knew you
mandate
had to get a
farm work.
wife. You
Take
knew.
everybody's kids and 2 years put them on a
Conscription.
farm,
Yeah.
2 years put them in the military, 2 years put them in the business
age.
world, and then say now you can vote.
Yeah,
Well, there's got to be
cornfield
some level of
conscription.
responsibility.
You don't have to do all of them, but you could do
Yeah,
one of them.
responsibility.
Contribute.
You're reminded of your responsibility at the end of a
It's not
gun.
gonna change.
That's for sure.
I
Do
didn't
it.
say
As a
that.
government, do
Yeah,
it.
we'll
Well,
teach
and the
them our
more
peaceful
we-
ways by force.
I didn't say
Well,
that. I'm
the
saying
more
we
we
extended
made
it.
We are
things-
Klingon.
Ultimately,
There's-
the more we have made the system more universally open as far as suffrage, the more we have diffused responsibility within the system. So, of course, if you had
Yes.
to come up with 500 ethical people who could actually vote their conscience for the president and understand what those words mean,
That's
yeah, you have to shrink the electorate
Wait.
and give a smaller group of people more
That's-
responsibility over the decision making. Otherwise, it's just
Communism.
This is
everybody
actually
watches the chaos
Wally.
happen, and no one wonders if
And
they
it-
should
That's-
step
they're
in or
gonna
not.
use whatever.
That's actually a
whatever
fantastic
fact
point.
that they want.
Think about this. What kind of accountability is held to the people who have a vote by the general public who had no vote when the vote goes wrong?
Say it again.
I said, the way that Wally's saying it, the general public who does not vote, who has no vote, what will they do when the vote of the people that do have a vote goes wrong and the nation suffers?
Torches. Right?
That's why I don't necessarily think like limiting suffrage is like the answer, and I think it's
January 6th
with like we need to demand better of ourselves. I think that's like the only way out of it is we have to demand.
Dude, I love your thinking. I love your like, hey, we need to do better. We need to do better and lift up, right? I love your thinking.
But my question, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, two things that'll I don't that will never change. I can't see any change. Is that qualifications for voting will never change. They'll only get more loose, if anything. And the electoral college it's not going anywhere.
Well, so long as self-worship is the norm, yeah, we're going to continue to have a problem.
Right, because the parents who are parents don't even want to be parents anymore. So the kids who grow up with their parents being effectively kids are going to vote for nanny state.
Well, it's internet. It's internet nanny.
True.
Robot teachers.
What is that?
This is why I say we have greater problems politically when the consensus is that most people on either side would be like, I don't know how much I trust 500 people to vote with their actual conscience.
What conscience?
And actually be informed on things like that and care about the greater health of the nation over a political persuasion.
Yeah, you just got to take money out first. I think for step one, they cannot receive payment of any kind from anybody.
Well,
No, this is why I find it funny that it's like when you have people who say like, well, I just got a lot of money, I'll self-finance my own fucking campaign. Good. I wish more people would do that, because actually people with the money to spend on running for office on their own dime is how you get big money out of politics.
Correct.
Because you
Elon.
need
but is that how you get great
capitalists
leaders?
who don't need to take the system's money.
That's a separate debate.
It's a separate debate.
how
But
you
that's
get
how you
great
get
leaders.
there. It's like,
everything.
you need
It wasn't
more
really-
people who go, hey, I'm really
That's
rich.
like-
I got some good ideas. I'm going to run, and I can actually change the system because I'm not going to take its money.
If only it were that simple.
If
We all.
it were that simple,
I think
but
Mitt
it's
Romney
at
likes
least
that idea.
like the right idea. It's at least the right mindset those people would have going in.
I don't know. The problem is that we all know that like CEOs and political leadership and all of these, they tend towards narcissistic personality types. They tend towards
That's where I was
opportunistic
gonna go.
personality types. And so what you're going to find is if you yank the money out, it's going to be whoever's most cutthroat will make it to the top at that point. It's going to one way or another resolve itself back to that same group of people, and they're going to find a way. Trust me, they want that power.
And I would also add to that, like, it's a mentality state. Like, you have to have the mentality of, I want this power, because why else would you even go there? That you already have a mentality of, I'm going to seek out this in order to have power to contribute to my society. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's already a mental state that way. Like, you have to have that, or you're not even gonna you're gonna fail.
Right,
and
because
that's
otherwise you're
part
back
of-
to
I think
conscience.
Part of the problem is, I think,
Yeah.
also over the past like 30 plus, at least most of my lifetime, I think in the past 40 years, many Americans have grown increasingly cynical politically. That's why you started seeing more of those lines like, oh, I had like with South Park, when South Park was going like back in like 04 or 05, and Stan saying, I realized I need to choose the lesser of two evils because two evils is usually the choice I'll have. Like, that's basically telling people broadly, yeah, it's a political satire, but what is that also telling people? Don't demand better. Just be apathetic and cast a vote, because fuck it. Let's vote harder.
Dude, the lesser of two evils is such a trap. It's such a trap.
The
It
lesser
is.
of two evils is still.
And how does
evil
it get there?
because, like, yes, Tibet's no
Propaganda.
longer ruled under a Buddhist theocracy that tortures people, but China is communist. Like, the lesser of two evils sucks.
Yeah.
Or in
The
Venezuela,
enemy of
you
your
can all-
enemy
yeah.
can't be your friend, because look at how that's worked. The LGBTQ community is enemy of conservatives, so are like the very far left. So any Democrats with actual sense are yet willing to shake hands with them because they want to win an election.
Yeah, but how do you get there? How do you get to the lesser of two evils, which is actually a very fair process that the people decide themselves?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that kind
So-
of the way
so
the
they-
rhetoric
they-
was
they-
being posed to people and has been for a long time has just made more people politically cynical and apathetic to the point that
There
they
is
think, like,
apathy,
well,
there
I
is
don't
cynicism,
need to
I agree.
demand better because I won't
Yeah.
get better. So what? I'm most likely not going to get better if I demand better. So why try? Just vote.
Well, yeah, you look at the 08 primary. What do they give us? I get it. It was the anti-Bush vote, but it's also John McCain. And so it's like, why bother? You know? And then what do you get next? Mitt Romney. Why bother? And so I'm like, I'm just doing a protest vote. I'm just doing a protest vote this time. I'm voting for Gary, what is Aleppo Johnson? Just to
Yep.
stick it to the
Aleppo.
GOP.
Just because my
What's an Aleppo?
my emotions,
What-
my
what's
journey
Aleppo?
tells me my emotions.
But that
I have
those
to vote against
those
this
three
person.
words are the definition of isolationist libertarianism. What is Aleppo? I want to be president. Vote
Yeah,
for me.
dude, you were definitely
Look at the
you were
ultimate
definitely
example
apathetic.
look at the ultimate example of a very smart gentleman who was unfortunately for all of us like about 20 years too soon for the country, and that was Ross
Wrong.
Perot, the man who was ultimately proven right.
In
Sir,
some
I-
ways.
Allegedly.
I see
Yeah,
you.
allegedly.
I see you.
Allegedly.
What do you have?
Well, there's a
I
whole
see
bunch
you.
of those, right? There's a whole bunch of men that would have been great in office. They probably would have been good for the country, but no way they were getting the funding they needed to get into office. And they probably didn't have enough narcissism and cutthroatness to them to push themselves forward into those positions. So, again,
Exactly.
License to
Exactly.
License to Kill and Living Daylights were two of the best Bond films of all time, but the public wasn't ready for Timothy Dalton as Bond.
But at the same time, somebody's got to play that role, right?
well, and that's actually
Not
the second
everybody can
stage.
play that role.
That's actually the
Right.
second stage. You see leadership that comes from that group of people, and generally they are the better leaders because they're willing to make harder decisions. They're willing to
Yep.
step
Yeah,
on
cool.
others if they
Yeah.
have to. And it sucks that that has to be that way, but when it comes to
If you
an
did,
entire nation,
Exactly. I was
Yeah,
saying.
and I think that brings me back to your point, Abe, about it being like now the next election, the next president, are they gonna like shift into a different direction? Are they gonna double down, or is that person gonna? Are we gonna concentrate the power even more into their hands?
Rather hard to say. I don't see it's concentrating.
Is there an off-ramp?
Because already the Supreme Court
I haven't seen a presidency not
run more.
See, and this,
take more
is
power.
the funny thing is like this is where you see the political hypocrisy in the media conversations. Because if Trump were to come out tomorrow and say, "I want to start a process that would allow me constitutionally to run again for president," people would say this is the greatest assault on our democracy since the foundation of the
Well,
country.
they
This is
already
the
have.
fall of America if we don't stop it.
Yeah, he
But yet-
already said he's not, but they
but
still
yet,
say that.
in
Yeah, they-
2015, if Obama had said, "I
Oh,
want
no,
to
he
change
goes
the
back and forth.
Constitution,"
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
run
yeah.
again,
Yeah.
If Obama did, they would have been like,
Yeah,
yeah.
he would've got-
Well,
he
he's
would've got
talking about the
85 million
fundamental
votes.
transformation of the country.
progressive change for our Constitution.
Yeah, he would have got 90
That would
million
have
votes.
been the media headlines. Obama proposes glorious reformation of the Constitution.
Yeah, he
Well,
would have
that
got
was his
600
inaugural
million
speech.
votes.
That was his inaugural speech. He said, "Welcome to the fundamental transformation of the country." Now, Chris
Change.
Plant is a great radio host, and he says, "Can you imagine saying to your wife, 'Honey, I love you so much. I would like to fundamentally transform you.'"
That sounds good.
Right.
That sounds awful.
But she should
really good.
appreciate
we
that.
all-
and
You see, here's
be
the
good
thing:
with
is we all
Kieran, your mic's messed up there, Kieran.
Fuck me. I'm okay.
You're gonna have to unplug and
We
plug
all
it back
can't be
in or
as-
something.
We all can't be as we all can't be as based as someone like me who is not Obama, who looked at Millie and said to her once, "Honey, if I
Wait.
had the means of raising an army and reuniting Yugoslavia, I would do it, and I would give you the severed heads of all their rulers."
Wait,
just to
wait, I'm
prove how much
confused.
I
You're not
love you.
Obama? Shit.
Why am I even here?
Look, I'm just saying.
Well, so based
I have
on
the ultimate red pill message where I really think the downfall of human relationships came when it was no longer okay for you to raise an army and go burn the neighboring village and bring your wife the severed head of the chief to show her how much you cared.
True.
When we couldn't do that anymore, it was game over for masculinity.
True.
Yeah.
It's called civilized.
A question though, based on some of the things you guys have been saying here, like, would abolishing the electoral college, would it, like, because we've talked a lot about like the public trust of elections, would it, do you think it would increase it or decrease it, and like
Decrease
why?
it.
Sorry, I don't know who answered.
It
Well,
would-
I
I
think-
think in there, but
I think that'd be a
whoever
partisan
answered,
issue.
What did you
It
say,
would
and
decrease
why? Like, what do you think the reason is?
I think it would depend. I mean, if somebody like, I think the biggest attack on like the biggest like weakening of the trust in our elections happened in 2020. And it happened because the president of the United States, without evidence, said that the election was stolen.
Evidence is
I got
carrying
a
a
lot
lot
to
of weight.
say about that. And
Nope,
I-
there's no evidence of it.
Now, but here's the thing, Base, and let me just cover this because I've
What about
tried to.
Yeah, that's just
This
Trump.
This is the one point I have ever consistently made about 2020. All the controversies and all the shit talking could have been easily resolved if none of those judges would have just flatly rejected the cases and would have let the cases go into discovery, because discovery is where the voter rolls would have been opened and where you could have actually done the analysis and proved if the case had merit. But judges would not allow those cases to proceed to discovery. These never had to go to trial. You just had to give them access to the evidence to establish if they could prove the claim, and they
Same with
weren't
the
allowed
Texas
to do
lawsuit.
it.
Which case specifically do you think should have gone through? That
I
was
think, I think in the name of
Pennsylvania?
election transparency. So here's the thing. I think in the
no,
name
virtually
of
all of them, the merits were not analyzed, right?
in the name of election, but in the name of transparency for elections, which is what everybody is supposed to care about so much, I think they all should have gone through.
Well, that would be the question. Could you not deem all of them?
I think a lot, like we were talking earlier about like, like understanding the civics and understanding the government and everything. And I think a lot of people just have a poor understanding of how our government works. And, and so for instance, my whole thing, like when Doge was going around doing their thing, right? And they were saying they were finding fraud, waste, and abuse, right? That was their motto. They went to USAID. I asked a ton of people, how many, and I'll ask you guys the same question. How many of you guys have read any of the fiscal year audits, like that are conducted by actual like CPAs for the USAID? Because they're done every year. How many of you guys have read any of those? None. How many of you guys have listened to like any of like, because the director of the USAID testifies before Congress like 2 or 3 times a year. How many of you guys have listened to any of those?
Some, but I couldn't tell you what was said at this
I
point.
don't have.
Just to give a little bit of
I am a
background.
hardworking man, so I only have so much time.
My dad was the director of a federal agency, and he had to go before Congress all the time. And his department was hopefully this doesn't dox me, but was with the USDA. Okay, so he worked with farmers, and he had to go before Congress all the time, and he had to go with the federal budget with the agency for his agency, and he had to say he had to go testify under oath. This is how I'm spending your money, and the Congress people on the committees that he would testify before would ask him, be like, well, why are you spending money on this? And he'd have to explain, well, this is why I'm spending money on this, is to accomplish this goal, which is in our federal charter for doing this, this, and this. Nobody pays attention to that kind of stuff. Nobody even knows that any of that stuff is out there.
The reason-
But Elon Musk comes out and he says, oh, we're finding all this fraud, waste, and abuse in USAID.
The reason that they don't buy in is because when
waste
money is handed
and
to
abuse is the biggest thing. Why the fuck should we pay other countries to have like trans schools and
See,
all
here's
this
the-
other shit? And
like
then you
It's
all
not-
go,
it's not even
oh,
that.
it's their lives.
It's not even that.
So-
The question
so
becomes,
why wasn't any of that brought up in the audit? Why wasn't any of that brought up? In fact, there actually were recommendations for better spending in the audits. If you like read through those,
It's not only that, but like, why are we spending for other countries to have a better lifestyle
Yeah,
when
and here's
we're
the
already
thing,
suffering
like-
ourselves?
And here's the thing, when they hold those hearings, they're not holding those hearings to scream loud and proud from the rooftops that they're giving 20 million or whatever it is to some random like conservative Arab country to advance LGBT studies. They're not holding those hearings to shout those from the rooftops. The purpose of Doge was to put a public centric spotlight on what are we spending the money on and where's it actually going to better inform people, which you would think would actually be a good thing, is to have people more informed on where their
Don't you
money's
want to
going.
know where your
Wait.
money's going?
wait, there's
all that
dollar
stuff is
there's dollar
That's all
tags.
public.
Right, but
Yeah, I
there's
was gonna
dollar
say.
tags. There's dollar tags that go to every single dollar is accounted for. When money is taken into a government organization like USAID and then given to an NGO, and that NGO has a task or a job outside of the United States, tell me how many of those counted dollars are shown and accounted for? How much of the money, once it enters the hands of NGOs, is public to the American people?
I mean, but not a lot of the money. It's tracked, and there are mechanisms. There were some recommendations in the audits for like better reporting and stuff like that, and better streamlining of payments. But I mean, but it's all there. I mean, you can go through and you can look. They have all that stuff. Did you guys know that the books for the United States federal government are public?
Yeah.
You can go pull up the chart of accounts and you can see the books. It's like 100,000 pages long.
But an NGO is a private company, so that's not always listed on there.
That's my point. My point is that money is
Other than
handed
the
to
money
non-governmental
going
organizations.
Not
those
necessarily what
organizations
the
provide
NGO is spending it on. So,
Say again, Big.
So at the end of the day, bass player, like, are you disagreeing with the absurdities that Doge pointed out with those findings? Are you saying they didn't exist?
Well, first off, fraud and waste is not things I don't like. Okay, that's not what
the absurdities, the transgender studies, and all that, all the high
Most of that
public
stuff-
stuff.
dude, okay, when you
Are
heard about the
disagreeing
transgender
that happened, or
okay, let's just take the
that's not real?
Let's just take the transgender studies thing. Did you see that in a report? Like an audit report?
All I'm asking you is, do you disagree? Did they make it up,
No,
or is that real?
I don't know. You tell me. Where did you hear it from? Was it from like an audit report? Was it from a report that Doge released?
I heard it from the head of Doge, Elon
You heard
Musk.
from the head of Elon Musk. Okay, so he told you something. Do you have any other evidence for that? Because I looked it up. So but I want to know what your
Yes, I had a confirmation of that from other sources.
from other sources. Okay, that it was how much was spent.
I'm not trying to get into the exact dollar amount.
Dude,
I'm saying in
what's your
general.
source, bro?
Okay,
You're gonna
I'm saying
take
in
some
general, do
source
you
that's maybe
disagree with
biased,
their findings?
already biased again. That's the
disagree
whole
with the
problem with
findings
these
or
sources.
not?
Where'd you
You're
get it from?
probably talking about $60,000 that was spent on a transgender comic book in Peru, right?
Well,
Is that what
there's-
you're talking about?
No,
Right, but
it goes way
there was
back.
Elon
Way
listed
back.
off
Let's talk about
1,000 different absurd examples, like
But-
all
but
kinds of. There was a
just saying
lot of
something is
absurdity.
evidence. So,
And again,
with
the
that-
NGOs.
no, let's stick to the example that you brought up. We'll stick to the example that you brought up. Okay.
But
So it was
thousands
like
other ones. Okay.
it was like 60,000. Well, but hey, we don't want to we don't like Gestalt here, do we? No, we just want
Shit
to.
adds up, bro.
So the
shit adds
$60,000 that was for like transgender stuff, right? It was actually a comic book about STDs and sexual health. Do you know that a lot of people, a lot of Americans who go to Peru, do you know they end up coming back with STDs?
Shame on them. That's their fault.
That's why we had.
Do you think?
You know, so here's the thing: like, if you don't engage in unprotected sex with people you barely or don't know, you're like 99% less
Especially in
likely
Peru.
to acquire an STD, and I'm going to allow a 1% margin of error. That's really the bottom line as far as STD awareness.
And I can't help but thinking the comic book is going to be the way that they're going to be like, oh, I'm in the checkout line. If I didn't have this comic book in front of me, I
Well,
wouldn't have got that
it was-
STD. I just
it was-
don't see the demographic
It was like a sexual health
crossover.
pamphlet.
Well,
It was
it'd be
like
like if hypothetically we told Easy 2.0 we're going to give him
But-
his own comic.
Isn't that also cutting it short? Because like they were funding HIV clinics in India for the trans community in India. So like,
So when you say comic book, it kind of seems to make it like you minimize the content. Like it's a comic book, right? A comic book of what?
Yeah, so
and
so
for who?
Kieran, let me give you a hypothetical because I think it
Sure.
would be even better for the people. So
Sure.
let's say that hypothetically the Australian government approaches you and says, "Hey Kieran, we want you to be the face of our new public service announcement comic book. Are you interested?" And you
No.
just say, "Yeah, I'll take your
No.
money."
I'll say
And then,
no.
so then hypothetically, you see the comic book, and it's actually the comic they made is like Kieran as Strap Man, the comic that demonstrates proper strap on you.
But bro, it's a comic book, so it's okay. It's a comic book. It's for kids,
Oh,
right?
so you would be
Does anybody have a
okay
link
with
to
your
the actual
face
book?
being put on a book?
It was like
Wally, I'm on your side. Wally, I'm on your side. Old mate over here is saying, but boys, it's a comic book, right? It's like it's okay. It's a comic book, but what's in it? I want to ask old mate, what's the content of the comic book and who's it for?
It was for adults about
Was it
sexual
really?
health.
Was it really? For adults?
Yeah.
so I think
mean,
that's
that's
small
not-
beans compared to the things. Like the
Like,
book
you've
is
seen,
one
yeah,
thing.
that's a small percentage.
You've seen the governor of Florida who couldn't read the books in front of the public meeting because it was censored. He was trying to read the books that were for kids in front of the media, and they had the fucking censor.
Okay, that doesn't. That's a different thing we were talking about, but yeah.
Talking about a man who has sex with a woman and then pulls out and then he busts his load all over the ground. Do you think that should be allowed for kids?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, he's referring
referencing
to
the Bible
referring to
now.
the Bible.
You know.
He's referring to
But
Onan
it
in
also
the Bible. So that
doesn't describe it that
there
way
are
either.
Plenty of things in the Bible that should be not taught to kids at an inappropriate age. There is
Like what?
like
Like
the
what?
book. Oh yeah, so
Spilling
like
your
Book of
seed.
Judges. There's a depiction of a gang rape of somebody until she was dead. I mean, the Book
Yeah,
of Judges is
yeah.
horrific.
So why not? Why shouldn't it be?
Why should it be horrific, or why shouldn't it be taught to kids? It's just
What
the
are you-
subject matter. So particular passages going over a particular subject matter. I'm not saying in
Why
total.
shouldn't it be taught to kids?
For the same reason
particular
what
because
you
of the
don't
subject
want
matter.
taught to kids.
So wait, you don't want kids taught that gang rape is bad?
Yep.
Okay, and that's not a straw man. Okay, you're not serious. You're not serious.
You want to
Okay,
teach
brother.
them that it's bad, but
So the whole Bible discussion.
you
even
bit
though-
that so
I'm
hard
all
it's
for
not even
Bible
funny.
Discussion, but that's derailing from the whole point of the programs that put out these comic books aimed at adults
Comic
who
books,
are
yeah,
American
comic
tourists going to Peru who weren't supposed.
No. They were aimed at like, proving.
They were
The
into
goal
proving
of
that
it was
Americans-
to.
Hold on. The fact that all
No,
of
the
this
goal-
shit exists, the
Mhm.
fact that all of this
Mhm.
shit exists at all is just showing that sex tourism should not be a thing.
Well, I agree
If
with that.
sex
Even
tourism
further-
was not a thing, these
Well,
PSAs
I mean, Peru's not a big
wouldn't be a thing.
Happen.
What about
Who's
it's
going
like
to do that
taxpayer
PSA though? Is Joe Biden going to come
Good
out
luck,
and tell us that sex
humans.
tourism should
Well,
not?
Go to the Philippines.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean,
Okay, so
you
if
mean-
Joe Biden was actually the Catholic he claims to be, yes, he would say that in public.
But if if we went back though to what we were talking about prior, his examples.
Of sexually transmitted diseases among Americans, is that a good goal?
Say it again.
Americans, sure.
Is the rate of sexually transmitted diseases among Americans, is that a good goal? Is that something that we should work towards?
Yes.
But would it be better to do that through PSAs or through just advancing like basic moral behavior and good decision making?
Yeah, take away birth control.
I can say
what states have the highest teen birth rate? Like the states that have the highest.
Guys, give him some
Karen,
space because he's still to get it out because he's still having those audio issues.
Okay.
If we talk, we overcut him instantly. So
He's got the weakest mic out of all of us, so we gotta give him some space.
Yeah, can I bump it up a little? Oh, that's really hot.
That's much better.
That's better. Okay. It sounds like it's clipping in my ear.
Well, yeah,
So-
you were clipping. That's why I was telling everybody else, like, slow down, let you get it out before your audio's not cutting out.
Yeah, my levels are low for so I don't get echo. So maybe everybody else is experiencing ear problems after that.
No, you sound better now. Yeah, for me too.
Is this better?
I would say you sound a lot better,
Way better.
now. Yeah.
Okay, I just installed Voice Meter, and so I've been playing around with that. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just saying that, okay, we all agree that reducing the rates of sexually transmitted diseases is good. Okay, so there's different approaches that we can take, right? We can say nobody should ever have sex except with their married partner, right? That's one way that we could do it. Does anybody here believe that that's like actually an effective strategy to tell people?
Yes.
I waited till marriage,
I
and I've been
believe
married
it's
17
effective.
years.
Is it feasible for all people? I would admit, it's probably not. It's probably not
that is
realistic.
I think it's a good
Well,
idea
you take
regardless
an
of the
absolute
outcome.
versus a majority too. That they,
Well,
if you're saying majority of people should do this,
Well,
that
he
would be
said
a
he's
better
got a
way
good
to
strategy.
see it
The answer is
versus
yes.
an
It's a
all
great strategy.
statement.
It's a great strategy.
You said an all statement.
Yeah.
So,
it's a great
so
strategy.
like,
Yeah.
It's
so in states that
unrealistic.
have high STD rates where they only teach abstinence only. What's going on there?
Would you ask? I didn't get to hear your question.
So, like, if in states that have high STD rates and high teen pregnancies, where they only teach abstinence only, which is what that approach would be, right? What's going on there?
Oh,
It
well,
can still be a good strategy.
probably one of the biggest problems with that is that no matter what they're teaching, the broader pop culture is still giving
Yes.
those teens
Correct.
messages
That's-
that basically
that's
say
correct.
have all the premarital sex you want.
And
It's a good
teaching
thing
them,
to do.
and teaching them that they're
Instead of,
repressed
don't
because
get
of it.
wasted, it's good to go do drugs. Like they're getting those messages
Same
like,
thing.
hey, but still do whatever you want, and it's all okay.
I'm a
'cause you
free
can just
person.
get
I do
on
whatever.
board, get on Earth.
Sorry, brother.
I think I think you got a really good issue there.
Hang on a second.
Right?
Hang on. I'm responding. Can you give a better strategy?
Yeah. So okay. So I'm going to do that by addressing kind of what Wally was saying, right? So Wally said, okay, you tell kids don't have sex, but the rest of the world is saying, hey,
Well, not the rest of the world. Elements within our own pop
Okay.
culture are
Okay.
counter.
Music, movies.
Yeah,
Okay.
sex is promoted everywhere, dude.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
it's
Everything.
everywhere.
So
Like,
okay.
Still want to
So-
hear a better strategy. Want to hear a better
So,
strategy.
okay. So how do we address that problem, right? Because that's obviously doing that. Should we ban talk of sex in public? Should we curtail? Should we have
We say
a federal
something
agency
to
monitor?
No, you could start with
that's a-
banning abortion, take away stop giving little 12-year-old
Wait.
girls birth control,
brother,
regular
Yeah, exactly.
periods
What's
and
funny?
shit like that.
What's funny?
You could start there, maybe.
Wait, what's
What-
funny?
What you want to do
Wait a
how
minute.
does banning abortion reduce
is
STD?
have
Holy shit.
repercussions.
What's the cause of
Everyone's talking at the same time, motherfuckers. We don't hear any of you.
Well, I want to go.
Chill.
I asked you
Alright.
for a better strategy, and you started asking a question. Tell me a better strategy. Don't ask
A
questions.
better strategy would be looking at the world that we live in. You can say, hey, the only 100%, I remember being taught the only 100% way that you won't get an STD and you won't get pregnant is by abstinence. That's the only 100% guaranteed way.
That's the same
However,
strategy.
Wait, no. But here's the other thing. If you also say, but if you do engage in these activities, these are safe processes that you can take to reduce those risks of other things.
The problem is it's double talk because once you do the if, that's the door.
You're now condoned the behavior.
When you say here's the best strategy, but is the but advice or is that like anti-advice?
Yeah.
It's
Especially
advice
for like
that-
horny kids. I mean, they
Well,
don't care.
the 100%
Okay,
thing is
so now we've identified several issues. There's the broader culture. There's horny
Right.
kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the
Wait.
only strategy that we have is just say, don't do it.
Correct.
So if I
that's one. That's
if
one. I have another.
wait,
It's not
wait,
an
hold on. I want to say this real quick.
But
If
I
I
have
tell
another after you.
if I tell my teenage sons, you can clean your room tonight, or you could not clean it and maybe clean it in the future. Which one are they going to do? Do you think?
The other one?
So you tell a teenager they could do the responsible thing, or
Oh wait, Abe, let me give a more charitable answer. Abe, I'm actually going to say I believe your sons would clean their room tonight because I would trust that you yourself and your wife have raised diligent young men who would follow what you tell them.
Right.
That's a separate
not
debate.
charitable, but if teenage boys are being
General,
teenage
he's the
boys,
exception.
they're gonna be lazy little fuckers.
Yeah, but Wally,
I'm a teenager
but-
myself. We know.
Yeah, but Wally,
Wait.
shouldn't we,
I just say-
if I can play devil's advocate, Wally, shouldn't the government deal with that? Shouldn't the government fix the problem?
Oh my dear lord!
The government fixes
No.
problems.
We need a new
Shouldn't the electoral college decide
That
this?
would be the funniest thing you've ever said.
Fucking nerd.
Look,
The government
Look.
fixes problems, says the
Look,
I
Australian.
don't need the government to fix my problems.
I'm going to sign. Look, I'm going to sign an executive order tomorrow. Look, we're going to make America great again. No more sex.
No, but
Kids want to have
Look, I'm telling you, we're going to sign it. It's beautiful.
I've had 3 wives. And I can tell you
Real
there's
quick,
too
I
much
just
sex.
want to real
Look,
quick.
no more.
I want to address something Bass Guitar said there earlier. You said why when you're talking about showing them a safer way to do it rather than just saying don't do it.
I'm saying do both. I'm saying do both. I'm saying do both.
Well, I don't think that's a good idea either, and I'll tell you why.
So
This
now
is
you
like-
think things are
It's
This
great.
is like
polarizing.
this is like hold up, guys, hold up.
Also, wait, because I want to directly address this. Look, this is
Well, I
exactly-
didn't get to say how you gonna address it if something I didn't say yet.
Shut the fuck up.
I didn't even
Let
say
him
what I'm
talk.
gonna say yet. Hold up, let me talk. I've been quiet for a long time. Let me just talk here for a second. Right? So when you teach someone when you teach them safe sex, right? The reason it looks like you're encouraging it, because it would be like if you don't teach people here's a safe way to drive drunk, right? If you're gonna drive drunk, just make sure you've only had a few beers, all right? And you don't do that, right? You say don't drive drunk, right? Avoid
But
any
do.
risk. And you could probably say there's people that could fucking drive perfectly fine drunk, and you would still tell that person don't drive drunk. It's
Do you
almost like heroin. You wouldn't say here's a safe way to do heroin. You'd say don't fucking do heroin, right? And
No,
that's
no.
what we're saying when it comes to teaching kids about sex.
Okay,
No
okay.
sex until you're married. None.
Okay,
There's no safe
okay.
way to do it. None of this. None until you're married.
Well, what do you mean?
Okay, I got two things. I got two things to respond to.
The consequences are.
Because I still have a good one for base.
No.
Hold on.
There's two
Let's
things that I want
pause.
to say to
Let him
respond.
respond. Let him respond.
you're the only one talking over him, bud.
It
Okay.
was crazy there.
So first off, that's exactly what I was taught when I was a kid. Was the only 100% way to avoid all these things is abstinence.
True.
However, and then the safe sex education, the regular safe. I was taught both. Okay, and I can tell you, at the time that I was taught that, I was very, very religious, incredibly religious. Okay, I used to wake up at 5 o'clock. No, earlier. I used to wake up at 4:30. I would go run for 3 miles every morning, and then I went to church for like an hour every day before school. Okay. I was incredibly religious. And I can tell you, despite hearing you can do abstinence or you can practice safe sex, it never crossed my mind that, well, they're saying I can do both, so I should just do that, right? It never crossed my mind, right? Because I was taught.
Did you end up being? Did you stay abstinent till marriage?
No.
And were they right that you not staying abstinent till marriage could risk an STD or pregnancy?
Nope. I practice.
They weren't right about that. Abstinent is wrong. When you say that, when we teach abstinent, is it wrong that if you don't have sex, you completely avoid all of STDs in pregnancy? Is that a wrong statement?
That's correct, and I remember that being correct.
Exactly. So that's why we should teach that. We should teach the truth, right? Especially in school. Shouldn't school be about the truth?
I'm saying, and that's what I was taught. I was taught this is 100%. If you want to avoid it, 100%, this is the only way to do that. However, if you do this, okay. Now the second thing is does skydiving have an inherent risk? Obviously. If I say you should never skydive because there's a risk to skydiving, you should never skydiving, right? And then some kid goes and he says, "Oh shit, there's a plane," and they get on the skydiving plane and then they jump out of the fucking plane and they've never been trained. They have no understanding. What's the likelihood that person's gonna die?
Very
no
likely.
Parachute, nothing.
Very likely.
Very likely.
Probably.
Hold on.
I don't know.
When you're parachuting your first,
Can another person come out of that?
I would tell. Listen, I would tell my family members not to go skydiving. Yeah.
Okay, wait. I had a question.
The only factor is not the risk. It's the moral responsibility of the risk of impregnating somebody and being therefore responsible for at least a couple people. Number one, the woman that you've impregnated, and number two, the child or children, if they're twins or triplets, that you've created in that act. So the situation is completely different from an ethical standpoint, not just risk alone.
Yeah. It's like you don't teach people how to cheat. Right? You don't say like, "Yo, here's the safe way to cheat." Yeah, here's the safe way to cheat, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that because it's just wrong. You say, "Don't cheat."
I don't know. Some of those chick magazines do. I'm sure.
Does everybody else remember Rob Ford, the crackhead who was married once, but was said a lot? The funny thing is, the guy said a lot of based shit. If you actually listen to him, like one of the first things he did as mayor of Toronto was cut most of the funding for AIDS prevention awareness. And when the news asked him why, he said, because if you don't share needles and you don't have gay sex, your average Joe isn't going to get AIDS. That's the bottom line.
It's true. And that actually brings me another point for base too, because he asked me, is there something else like besides abstinence or whatever? And it's like, I just got this pulled up that there's a very high correlation with the sexually transmitted diseases and the availability to abortion access, which I would assume the opposite is if you restrict the access to abortion, you will then decrease the amount of sexually transmitted diseases. Would that be a fair compromise?
Wait. So you're saying, okay. I mean, first off, we're talking correlations, which don't necessarily
very high. This is Center of Disease Control data, journals, U Chicago.
So you're saying, where there's decreased access in abortion, where there was increased access to abortion, there was increased rates of STDs.
Yep, gonorrhea and syphilis significantly correlated with the abortion legalization. And they've only recently been able to track this because of the recent overturning of some states' laws, where they have now seen in states like Colorado, the access to abortion and STD rates both track right next to each other on the graph, almost in the same exact way. Car crashes and THC positive drivers correlate almost exactly right next to each other as well. Not that it's the cause of it, but it's like if everybody's smoking weed, of course, everybody that gets in a wreck is going to have weed in their system. It's kind of like if there's more access to abortion, then there's less, what do I want to say, fear of contracting these kinds of diseases with lowering the consequences of doing the sexual act in the first place.
I'd be curious. I mean, that's an interesting. I'd want to know, one, what the proposed causal link would be, and then two, I'd be curious to see like how that correlates, because like there's obviously no causal link between causal link between getting an abortion and getting an STD, right? We all agree,
right?
Like there's
just
like
having sex. You can't get pregnant if you don't have sex, and you can't get STD if you don't.
Obviously, like there's that aspect of it.
Okay.
So I'd be curious as to like how that overlap with like sex education, right? Because my curiosity would be like,
hold on.
Well, like, is there some kind of like if there's like teaching, if there's a lot of people teaching like, hey, there's abstinence, the only way to avoid it.
We know that.
Hold on.
Wait 1 second. We know that
there is one thing.
Before sex education was taught, there was a higher reporting of people being virgins leaving high school, right? They were still virgins leaving high school. Now that ever since they started teaching high school or sex education, that numbers went way the fuck down.
To be fair, that's correlational. Okay.
So,
like to be fair, it's correlation.
Now, how do we figure out the cause?
Plan B.
Figure out causation.
It's just causation. There is no causation since high school.
There are other things going on, such as hang on.
Is the causation the biggest correlate?
No, you can't say causation. It's correlation, but there are other things.
Right, and what is the causation?
It's a correlation. Yeah, you speak right on this. Yeah,
there's no way to
example between correlation and causation.
What you can say is when, for example, when contraception became mainstream, abortions went up. Okay. Because people thought it's contraception, great. We all have the sex, and more people got pregnant, and abortions went up. It's very hard to prove the causation, but a general culture,
right? I know.
This is the marijuana. Same exact graph.
Kieran, it's not really difficult to prove. Like, I could say, like, look, if my military was better trained, it probably wouldn't lose a war against birds.
True facts.
You could demonstrate that.
If you stack enough correlation, you will find causation.
That's true, and also you can find if you find really strong correlation,
the highest one.
Because normally correlation is like weak. There's weak correlation.
Yes.
When you find a strong correlation, but you still have to prove which way the causation goes.
Not necessarily.
What I'm asking about is what is the cause of that, right? Because
correlation and the cause
highly correlates with drowning in pools, right? That doesn't mean ice cream sales are causing drowning in pools, right? But there is a causal mechanism that is causing both of them to correlate, which is summertime.
But are there things?
This is drunk driving.
Are there things where you can?
I think that actually. Wait, I think that actually goes to our point, because if sex is happening more and it's more available, then there'll be more abortions, which means
STDs go up.
That's like that connects to ours.
Let's you and I.
Yeah, the whole point of what I was saying is that the whole point of what I was trying to say is that correlation is a necessary evidence towards the causation.
Agreed.
Like, Kieran, you and I don't get to commiserate on many things in a brotherly fashion, but let's try to do that right now. Like, I'll
grab another beer.
Say, is it when people have a nature versus nurture debate, I'm tending in some cases, I could see myself leaning more towards nature, because I've met a lot of Aussies who are not descendants of the British, and you're all batshit insane. So clearly that's a W in that environment. Is it the nature or the nurture? Because clearly anyone who's been born in Australia tends to go crazy.
Well, I wasn't born in Australia.
Yeah, and you're nuts, and you brought it with you. That's an outlier that makes things worse.
I was literally born in Northern Ireland. I was
You
born
got
in the
an
British
accent.
Empire.
You brought some craziness. Oh yeah, you were born in Northern Ireland. That don't help.
Literally born in Northern Ireland, brother.
You're still from amongst the people they would have deported there anyway. So that doesn't attack my claim in the slightest, brother.
So
Swords of Reason, everybody.
Yeah. Welcome to the open channel.
We're figuring out who's more Irish right now. Just
Oh my
figuring
gosh.
it out.
I actually had my DNA tested over the summer. I'm like, I mainly wanted to make sure I was 100% genetically excluded from certain groups for my own peace of mind. But I found out I'm mostly Irish, Welsh, Eastern European, and Scottish.
So you gave them all
you
your
have peace of mind?
information that now the government has all your information.
Correct.
Your
You just
DNA
doxed
is
yourself, bro.
now documented.
Yeah, but I don't have but dogs. This is the thing.
If you go to the hospital, they have it.
Mind of knowing that I don't have the right of return to certain countries.
That is such a dumb point. Oh, now the government has it. Yeah, if you went to the hospital, they have it. If you got born, they have it. If you like,
hey, guess what, Wally? I'm white. I didn't need to spit in the jar to find out.
You volunteered it to a private
Oh,
company.
I knew that. I knew that too, Kieran. But it was certain other groups I wanted to make sure I can't ever claim to be a part of and have evidence I'm not.
What if you did though? What if you found out you were like 5% Somalian? Would it make you feel better?
Well, Kieran, you see this bottle of 1800 that I bought last weekend?
Yeah.
I probably would have bought 4 more by now.
because you'd be black. That'd be
Nerd.
racist, you motherfucker.
Well, specifically, I would be Somalian. You see the news lately? It ain't cool to be Somalian right now in the U.S.
I know, right?
oh my
But
gosh.
at least you know. At least you know you have pure blood. Okay.
Well,
That's-
I also know I'm not a part of. I don't have a claim to any magical land in a particular part of the world. I don't have a right to return there. That was more.
I do. It's everywhere, always. Okay, I claimed it all.
Correct.
This is my mother.
I have a question based on the topic of the night. For everyone, what does like fair representation actually mean when it comes to a nation that's as populated and now diverse as America has become? Like, what is fair representation actually mean?
I mean, ultimately, it's you have to ultimately you're going to, no matter what, you're going to talk yourself into the direction of, well, we have to weight certain particular sectors and particular groups of people in a particular way, because really, it's having the farming sector and small business owners and make foundational principles of the country fucking work.
That's a whole bunch of words to say nothing.
No, it isn't, because really
That's what Kieran says when he doesn't understand what you're saying. I'm trying to see
that's
that.
like being praised by Caesar for saying I'm dictating too hard.
I'll make it very simple. Fuck your representation, okay? Fuck it. Fuck representation. Fuck fair. Fuck fair. Couldn't give a shit about fair.
Like ultimately, I'm ultimately someone who's not usually
More
very
words.
concerned with the fact
More
that
words.
corporations exist, because what we ultimately need to concern ourselves with in America is that it's easy for people to start small businesses, because it's the free enterprise and small business ownership in America that has always been a big part of what makes this country work. Yeah, spin your finger with your middle. Spin around with your middle finger more. I can do it too.
No, sorry, bro. I fell asleep while you were talking. Sorry.
No, you're not.
What did you say? I didn't even hear what you said. I'm like, you said all these words but didn't say anything.
Coming from you, that don't mean a lot.
I gave my stance. Fuck fucking representation. Fuck it. Fuck fair. Okay, there you go.
That's what I'm saying. Things are inherent. Things,
but that doesn't include the justice system, right?
Ultimately, some
fair is
things
a
will
choice.
inherently be unfair, because you need certain sectors to make your country work, no matter what.
Correct. So fuck your representation, fuck your fair. Okay. Go by merit.
Oh, so I just want to know, help us out here, Kieran. The 14th Amendment, like, what is like the whole idea of that? What is it? Just help us out.
I haven't memorized the 14th.
No, I want to hear what an Aussie concern. We want to hear what Aussies concerned with American politics think.
Search it up.
Is the 14th Amendment?
Just search it up quick. Just search it up quick. We got time.
Is the 14th Amendment the one about taxation?
Just search it up. I know
say
you're on a computer. Don't act like you're not on a computer.
It's about transgenders.
Transgenders.
I don't know.
Equal protection.
Oh.
Let's just go with those words. What's equal protection mean?
The 14th, is that the one about no slavery?
Getting closer.
It's like he's talking about books or a comic series. That one about.
Is that season 2? Season 2.
Look up the fucking.
What is like the citizenship clause, the due process clause, equal protection clause? What are these supposed to be for?
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good.
Amazing.
Sounds wonderful.
Amazing.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
You know what? Well, you know what? If we were still having constitutional conventions on a regular basis like the founders intended, maybe we could have done something about that equal protection bullshit by now.
Maybe since America is 16% black, maybe you should have 16% representation.
Right, the old.
You know what?
I'm sure they do.
I actually would not.
They have overrepresentation first.
You were talking about,
to be honest.
You're talking about like when I bring up fair representation, I'm trying to talk about in the sense of the electoral college, right? What is fair representation when there's the amount of fucking people there is, and the amount of different cultures there are, and the amount of different fucking like races, everything like. What is fair representation? Like in a country that's supposed to have this, what is it?
I think they got it pretty good.
It's such an easy question. You made this like it was difficult.
No, there's two
and
things.
You said Wally said a whole lot of nothing while you said no here talking about cool.
Well, I'm trying to respond.
I don't
There's
care.
the popular vote, and there's also the rights of states. So, do you think this, like United States of America, do you think states should have some kind of say, some kind of bearing on the outcome of the election?
What about the say on who's human and who's not?
Yeah, but can you answer my
Every
question?
state
Do you
should
think
have
states? Do you think
bearing on the
states?
election.
Do you think states?
Like,
Do you think states matter? Do states matter?
States?
Yes.
What do you mean by states?
Well, you know, like New York, New Hampshire, you know.
I know the names of states. What do you
What do I mean by
States
states?
does not
Do you
matter.
think the culture within each state, the United States of America, do you think each state has a culture and that matters?
What?
To
Say that
maintain
again.
it?
The what?
The United States.
The United
States.
Yeah,
Yes.
United
United States. Yes.
United.
United States. Yes.
Right. United
States. Yes.
Let's walk through that. What's united mean?
It means we have a collegiate vote, so the states can
United
maintain their own.
means
It means that we have the collegiate
to be
vote.
fair, we were called the
a
United
loose
States under the Articles
federation
of
of
Confederation, and we were definitely not united.
Yeah, but
Right?
wait, what is what's
Constitutionally,
the
we're a
point of
loose
United
federation of
States?
states.
What's
it
the whole
means is-
point of it?
What it means is each state can maintain its own culture, but you can unite under certain policies like international law.
Yeah, a state
No-
is like a sovereign political
Yeah,
entity.
That's
yeah.
the point, right?
Sure.
That's the point. Yeah.
So it has its own government. Yeah,
But when
yeah,
it comes-
controls
when-
its
when it-
internal affairs. Sure,
But when
yes.
it comes to facing
family.
foreign enemies, wouldn't it be great
Yes,
to be
under the
united?
Constitution of the.
Are you
of
forgetting
the
something
United
though?
Yeah, go on.
Who does it share power with? Who does the state share power with?
You tell me. Don't ask
What
questions.
makes
Tell me-
what
tell me.
makes it the United States?
You're
of
asking
America?
questions. So tell me what you think.
Federal government.
The
I,
people.
you want me to answer the question? Yes, someone just answered it for you, but you wanted me to answer the question for you, Kieran?
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Come on, Kieran.
You realize
you to
each
say
state
what-
doesn't like have a
I think
culture.
this is
They
what
have a
Kieran does
government.
when he does, like he doesn't know the topic and he doesn't want to talk about it.
It does
to
say
kind of
chaos.
derail it
He's
to
just
something
fucking
else.
having fun.
Each of
Like,
the
he's fucking
50
having fun.
each of the 50 states is like its own small nation, and they're all unified through the federal
You gotta learn
government.
these things, Kieran. Don't
Yep.
you want to be an
Through
American
who?
citizen?
Through who? But
I
through
drop.
who?
I'm going to
Each
say
state
I drop.
each state has who?
We all know that. I'm asking what your point is, because like say New York doesn't have a singular culture. Like the city has a culture, and the northern chunk of it has a completely different culture. Each state isn't like one
That's true.
monolithic thing.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, this is actually what I was trying to get at. Like,
Yeah.
you got to the point where each state is so fucking like the population is so huge in each state that like there's nothing like that. Like is like how can you fairly represent everybody? It won't ever be a possibility anymore.
So if I go
You know what I
to
mean?
Isn't Los Angeles like top 5
I
economies
think
in the world?
that's one of the things when it comes to like when we're talking about like the electoral college, is fair representation like something we're thinking about when we're talking about abolishing it or keeping it? Is it like, do we want this fair representation amongst people, so many different types of people?
I see. Let's take a hypothetical here.
Congressional district is the representation fair?
If I grew up in Tennessee and I moved to fucking West Virginia, I'm pretty sure I know I've moved state, right? I can tell.
Yeah.
You've moved state,
And-
sure. But
Yeah.
so
Why do I know?
Would you ask, Kieran? I think I would say no to what you just asked. I just want to make sure I heard you right.
Really? If you were living,
Well,
if you
yeah,
if you
fair.
grew up in Tennessee and you moved to West Virginia, you wouldn't realize you'd moved state. You wouldn't realize that there's a different culture there.
Not
actually,
it can be the same.
I think but where you just said no, I think it depends where, but yeah, I think
Okay, fair enough.
you
It
might
sounds
see a
like-
lot of the same more than you'd see different.
Okay,
It's
if you
a
grew
lot
up
of
in
the same,
Oregon,
yeah.
you grew up
In
in
most
Oregon,
ways.
and you moved to Virginia. Do you think you would see a difference?
Yes.
Sure, you would. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's the point I'm making, and
That's
that
an
that has
extreme
value. That difference has value.
But at
It
the same
does.
time,
To what degree?
you take the statewide value that
I'm
like,
trying to, like,
we're
get
talking
the-
per state, bro.
Yeah,
and
but I'm
each
trying to get the
state
bigger
has
point of what
rights.
Kieran's trying to say. What do you?
I don't
Well,
get it.
getting
do you
at?
think? Do you think culture matters? Does culture matter?
Yes.
Okay. So
To what?
just doesn't
Okay.
matter. Is
In what
culture-
context?
Is culture worth keeping?
Inherently?
Yes,
Does it just
inherently.
matter?
Not
Is it worth
inherently.
having
No.
culture? It's not.
Can it be avoided?
That's fucking weird, bro. Like does having a culture.
Well, I don't know.
agree. Culture matters.
What
Yeah,
is it?
absolutely.
No, wait. What is?
Okay.
What do you mean?
I
I
don't-
want to know what you mean. by
Hashtag
that.
Sharia law matters.
Civil.
Like I don't-
That's purely.
what's bad
the
about
Division
Sharia
of
law?
States is a government entity. It has nothing to do with culture because otherwise, in San Francisco is different than San Diego. San Diego is different than LA to some extent. You know, even within certain states, like there are subcultures.
Even within a-
and so it's not culture alone. It's speakeasy. Are you trying to get at the fact that it's purely governmental drawn lines, or what are you getting at?
Oh, what he's bringing up, does culture matter when you're talking about economics? Does culture actually determine the outcome for economics?
Not
It
talking about
does in
economics,
some
I'm
ways.
talking about culture.
I think there could
Are you
be
talking
some
about interstate
It
commerce?
Can be related. Yes.
Yeah, I think there could be some correlation.
Mhm.
I think obviously like liberal democracies with capitalism tend to produce like some of the most economically powerful countries in the world.
trying to decide where we're going at this point. Honestly,
I think each society. is
Well,
an
then
experiment.
how come I'll give you
Straight
like a
ladder.
historical example. After the war, you had the Japanese Americans and the Italian Americans. They experienced the exact same like rise in wealth, and they had completely different cultures amongst them.
So
Easy,
what?
I interrupt your train
It's
of
showing
thought.
you that in economics, the cultures don't matter, you stupid fuck.
Fuck
You mean, so
economics.
what?
What
Keep,
about- what
keep
about-
up to the
There's
conversation
more
we're
things-
talking
there's-
about.
There's more things to life than economics.
Easy, I interrupt.
I know
you
there
for-
is. You
That's the point I'm
Easy.
getting
my
at.
God. Kieran,
Easy, I
you
interrupt
trolling me
for
right now? You
urgent
just trying to
message
fucking
from your
rage bait
wife
me
in
right now?
chat.
Rage bait.
Urgent message from your wife in chat, Easy. She wants you to make me big screen to promote the Griff sign.
The oh shit, go kick fund. Let's fucking go. The go kick fund, everybody. Make
Remember,
sure you guys
everybody,
step it up.
sad plus money equals happiness.
Equals happiness.
What does money minus sad equal?
Sad.
Let's
More
fucking go.
More sad. More sad.
And by the way, chat too. If you guys want to, if you want us, wait, why did it do that?
I'm dead. I'm a ghost.
Later.
Oh, there we go. That tripped me out.
So
if you
I'm
guys
kinda
want a
curious
hot seat tonight, you guys got to hit the super chat goal. And we're only at 3 out of 30. So if you want to
get your fucking chat goals
hot
in,
seat,
bro.
get them in.
Look, somebody had to have the good sense on this panel
I-
to start doing some grifting.
True.
Somebody
I
had
was
to
lacking.
fucking do it, and I didn't
was
see
lacking.
any of you 7 stepping up to the plate, so I started grifting.
And I grifted a while ago. I grift every night on here.
I'm gonna go sober if this chat doesn't open up the wallets and give thoroughly.
No, don't do it then. Let it get in touch.
I think
that'll be just fine.
I think it's crazy.
I don't
That,
know. Sips of my tequila just got a little bit expensive.
I can't even remember what we were talking about because Kieran fucking trolling over here with his
I
fucking
remember something about
United States
everything.
We're talking about
Protection.
fair as a representative.
So-
That's the-
as
Abolish.
the guy with the ironclad
That's it.
memory when he's not sober. Before I interrupted Easy for the urgent message from Mission Command in the chat, he was calling Kieran a stupid fuck, and that's really all you got to take away from the conversation prior to
Karen
True.
is a stupid.
No.
No, re-examination was right though. We were talking about like representation, in a place where how can you possibly
Fairness.
represent like everyone in a place
Well,
like America?
It seemed like it came down to a point where Kieran was trying to say we need to have somebody from each and every culture to represent the state that they live in to go into office or something, which would be a wild thing. No vote, just
That
we
does
need.
kinda
I
happen.
think
You know what,
It does
Abe? I
kinda
don't
happen.
think that's what he was saying, but that would have been like at least something I could have contended with.
I mean, we have Omar. Omar is in office, is kind of like that. It does.
Yeah,
fit
no
that
thanks.
mold.
I don't
I
need the
mean-
Muslim representation in any American office.
I know, but
Thank you.
but it
Agreed.
exists. But it
honestly
exists.
I
think we
think that's a
need to
very
address-
dangerous thing.
I think we
No,
need to
yeah,
drastically expand the
I'm
house.
saying
I think
it
that would help.
exists. You know.
What was that, base?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do
But, like-
kind of get some of that. Like it
But
does
y-
creep in. you know?
Yeah, I'm saying though, how can you do that? Because like even in a place someone mentioned like New York, you have so many different types of cultures just in New York alone. How could you represent New York? Who the fuck
Well-
represents New York? You have to find the fucking unicorn.
Oi! Yeah,
Like-
but I mean, when we're talking culture, like at the end of the day, you just kind of want to do an umbrella of American culture.
Right.
What's
That's
that?
why I think it,
You know,
all these like
Why though? Why
when
have
it
an
comes
umbrella?
to this, how can you you can't represent all these little like I guess you'd call it like subcultures within America, like the diversity.
There's
of
always going to
America.
be. There's
You can't
always gonna be-
represent that. That's just
Gotta
not
draw a
going
line
to be
somewhere.
a realistic
draw a line.
thing.
Got to draw a line somewhere, okay? And the States is a good line. Around
Yeah,
the state,
I don't know how a Chicagoan is going to call a Texan what American culture is. Good luck.
you can always.
with
Well,
that.
that's the point. That's the point. It's
They put
multicultural.
ketchup on their hot dogs.
That's
I
the
just
point.
feel like what happens
Yeah,
is
but
you're going to end up.
Texan's
Wait,
going to tell the Chicago that he's not even American.
the problem is
We're a republic
Are-
over here. We ain't
are-
even in the same country.
at some
We're the
point.
People's Republic of
okay,
Chicago.
whoa.
Wait a minute.
Dude,
I
I
just
I
realized
disagree with
something.
that. I
At
disagree
some
with
point, you're
that.
just pitting people against each other based on their culture and not based on their unity.
Do
So
people-
Let's just make Miss America.
I think the focus
representation of
on
each culture.
exactly what I was getting at there, Abe, is that
Yeah, but-
focus on culture causes this division that we see.
Right.
Like
That's why
Chicago
nobody
and
has
Texas.
this. You know what people used to have when America was early? God. Everyone had that in common.
That is the
That-
culture.
Now, not everyone has that in common. So what?
Nope.
Everyone's lost.
Even if
Not all the founding fathers.
it doesn't matter. Even if you take it to
can have-
deists, that's
and
still an
Even if
inherent
they
belief in
weren't,
a
they
creator.
still all agreed that all the men of America were created equal under God. That's
You
what they
gonna
all
make me
agreed
be
on.
that
They didn't
guy?
have to be
Right?
Christian, but they still believed there was a power at the top. And it was
believed
beyond
they were all
them.
created equal.
Right, and the
Are we
main
gonna make
the
me
main
have
influence
to
was
be
not
that
deism,
guy?
because deism gives you
Can
nothing.
you be equal and different?
Well, what was if that wasn't the case? Then what was the Second Great Awakening?
Can you be
Second-
equal and different?
What you mean? The Second Great Awakening was deist? Do you think Charles Finney was a
No,
deist?
no. I'm saying the Second Great Awakening was like a reaction to like the deistic founding era. Like the people that grew up in the people that were like prominent in the founding, right?
What was the first Great Awakening?
The first Great Awakening was like in the early 1700s, like
Yes.
before any of them were born.
Talking about the French
Okay.
Enlightenment.
Yeah. What?
No, I'm talking about the American Enlightenment. That I'm saying the idea that they were like heavily Christian is just that's betrayed by the fact that the Second Great Awakening happened. What were they if they were all like super Christian? What were they awakening from?
Well, even if they
awakening was the fact that they had lukewarm churches in the first place, which is why they went to churches to do the awakening. They weren't going to Unitarian churches; they were going to Calvinist churches mainly. That's why if you read Asahel Nettleton, if you read Charles Finney's biography, they're not going from like Masonic temple to Masonic temple. They're going to churches that are dead, and they're saying, "You guys have rejected the gospel. You guys have rejected holiness. You guys have rejected God. You have the form of religion without its power because you just show up and do the motions. You don't actually trust God. You don't actually submit to God. It's not actually in your life." Read Charles Finney's autobiography. Read his sermons. And he's not talking to deists and trying to exclaim why people should stop being deistic and start being Christian. He says you should stop being fake and get actually saved, get actually converted, and not just being religious.
Who was
I'm
that?
gonna be
I
that
want
guy.
to
Charles Finney.
I have to be that guy because no one else so far has been that guy. So I'm gonna be that guy.
You were that guy like 5 minutes ago, weren't you?
Maybe, but to respond to Easy's point, I will be that guy and say, well, I think the initial religious founding of the country was always destined to break apart and weaken because it was founded by a bunch of make up your own theology group of Christians anyway.
I'm going to say, I got a question here. Does everybody look at the United States as one nation? Everyone here? Because I'm going to call bullshit on that.
On what level?
Are we one nation?
What
Do you mean
is
that
a
we signed
nation?
on to a federal government?
National.
No, if I say
Yeah.
the United States is one nation, do you guys agree with that? Or
Yes.
if I just-
Yes.
Yeah, depends on what level.
Yes, we are
we're all
one
Americans.
nation
Yes.
in the
How many
sense
presidents do
of,
we have?
like-
How many presidents do we elect?
So
Yeah,
basically,
you're-
here's the
one
thing.
government?
Here's the thing. I would say,
We all
to
watch
you, I would
Netflix,
say this
Hulu?
to you.
I'm kind of
this is what I
curious
would
where
say.
he's going to
Yeah,
go with
that's
it.
what I wanna
though,
know.
but-
Yeah, I'm wondering.
Go ahead. Yes.
I would say yeah.
We are all Americans.
Easily.
Yeah, base. Let me
Yeah.
put it to you this way. I would say we are one nation in the sense that I don't like how left Hollywood is, but if someone flew a plane into it, Hollywood tomorrow, I would say, hey, that's my fucking people. We are one nation in the in the 9/11 sense. That as a Bostonians hated New Yorkers on 9/10, but we hugged them on 9/11. So that's how the extent to which I think we are one nation. It's like in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen when they all shout "God save the Queen," and he goes, "Yeah, that's about as patriotic as it gets around here."
No, so where I was going with that, and I appreciate
I would
that.
just say the opening words of the Constitution, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and the whole point of the Constitution was to form a more perfect union, right? That's what I was saying. is
We
that-
the people. It's not we the states, we the government, and none of this. It's we the people. One
Fun
nation.
fact, the Constitution completely avoided the ratification of the Constitution. Completely avoided the state legislatures. The Articles of Confederation were all ratified by the state legislatures.
Pretty sure the Bill of Rights made it
Constitutional
correct.
Convention for the check the ratification
The Bill
section.
of Rights fixed it. The Bill of Rights fixed it, right?
No, the article, the Constitution went directly to the people. It was all ratified by independent ratifying convention.
No, it was by the state. I'm sorry.
No. It was
Look at
on a
more,
state
bro.
level.
It's
It was
by
on a
the
state level, but it was not the
It's
state
by the
legislature.
state on the
No.
the people of the state.
The people.
State
People.
elects the.
That's what I'm saying. It was the people. It
Look
wasn't the
at it,
state
dude.
legislatures.
Look at it. You have this wrong. I'm telling you.
Stop
You
talking.
need to dig in deeper.
I don't think he's talking about the text of the state.
We were elected by a body of states under a unified part.
Okay.
Well,
I'm
No,
gonna-
whatever. I don't know where you're going with that, dogs, but he's right what he's saying. That it was like special, like state
Conventions.
ratifying conventions, right?
Well,
but it was
and-
like the
More than-
people of each state, right? Through
Yeah.
elected delegates, though, right? You understand?
Well, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Is that the whole thing is that it went to, it went to
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't the state legislatures. It wasn't the existing like government bodies of the states. It was directly to the people. So it wasn't like it wasn't.
But that was because
That
it was the original. Like obviously they wanted this to be solidified by the people and not like the whole thing they were doing was running away by something that was solidified by a government. So they wanted to make sure that this was solidified by the people. That was the whole point of America, right?
Yeah, and where I was going with that was that at the time.
No.
At the time, the people they like I can't emphasize this enough. People like they were willing to go to war with another state because they were Robert E. Lee 100 years after the after the Declaration of Independence was like, fuck the United States, I'm a Virginian. Robert E. fucking Lee.
Have you seen my hat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Abe knows. Abe knows. But I'm saying now we don't have that view. Nobody's
I think I agree with.
Why
based on
would
this
you
one.
have that view when you have like a sister in fucking New York, and then you have a brother in Texas, and then you have your mom and dad are in Michigan? Like, what do you mean? Of course, of course, it's not going to be like that, right? Your whole family is all over America. Going to war with the next state means killing your family members, maybe.
Federalization made that
Right.
literally
That's why
seem.
when he said he said it's not.
That's a good thing, though. No, don't you guys think?
So
You're not
he's-
forced to go to war with your fucking sisters and brothers.
Even the original
easy.
militia,
I
even the original militia wouldn't cross.
Kieran,
state
shut
lines.
up for a second.
You shut up.
Oh my
I'm
God.
speaking.
I was gonna say, so
yeah, you
easy
shut up. Like,
in your
even
point.
the initial militia wouldn't cross. State lines.
Australian man, give me a second.
Then I got a
Easy,
question for
the
Base.
point you were just saying, I can get into more of that in next week's debate, but apparently going to war with your neighbors the day after everything was normal is not as hard as you would think.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
even the original militia wouldn't cross state lines.
Karen, I got a question for
There's
you. real
still
quick,
state
just to continue
militias
the
today.
conversation we had yesterday because
go
of your
on.
opinion right there.
Yeah,
Are
go
you
on.
American?
No.
Then you shouldn't be talking about
Shut
American
the
business,
fuck
you
up.
stupid fuck.
Really? Really?
Hey,
Are
we're
you-
having fun.
Are you a woman? Are you a woman?
I miss you, Elder.
Oh, are you going to
Lice.
try to reuse the same argument I used against you last night?
Do you have an opinion about abortion? I mean, you're a man, right?
Are the laws different for men and women, Kieran?
Are you a
Wait.
slave? Should you have an
Wait,
opinion
that's a
about
separate
slavery?
one. I have a
Because
question
you
for
want a
Base.
slave. Should you have an opinion about slavery? I mean, you want a slave, so shut the fuck up, right?
Oh, burn.
It's
Boom, roasted.
it's disanalogous though. I mean, if you'd have to fully encompass the argument that you're making right now.
Yeah, I'm not American, and therefore I can't have an opinion about American politics. What the fuck?
No.
Really?
No, you can't.
can. You can.
You've missed it. You've missed it.
It's just-
That was my whole point last night.
It's just,
I'm glad you woke up and figured that out. I'm so happy that it finally got through your head that you can actually make an
I
argument.
kinda have no idea, but I don't really know.
Wait, I can just imagine.
What was the
so
14th
Kieran was
again?
trying to say that you can't make an argument about what?
You can't make
couldn't
an
make an
argument
argument about
slavery.
relationships because you're not in one. That's what he was saying.
What?
Well, that was me doing a flex. That was me doing a flex because I mean,
That's not
Elder
a
Lion, Elder Lion, Elder Lion, I strongly disagree with you. I disagree with you, Elder Lion. I heard, because what I just heard a few words
You disagree with
back-
my opinion that Karen's retarded?
No, I disagree with your presupposing that something could get through his fucking head.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
boom, boom, mic drop. Well done.
Just a quick question for base, real quick. Back to the nation idea, because you were saying that you don't believe that America, as of right now, falls under the idea of a nation. Is that what you're saying?
No. I think we are a nation. I think we are one nation. I'm saying that at the time of the founding, we weren't one nation.
Okay.
But
I was
the
gonna take your side in saying as maybe as of right now we might not be. We might not be.
That would be
I
culturally
probably should agree with that. Like in some, depending on how you define,
Well, so let's go open borders. Are we protecting our border really good? It's maybe now, yeah. Maybe the last few years, no.
I think this is actually going to depend on your definition of one nation. Then you're going to have to give us your definition of one nation, because I actually think for the founding, you could still make an argument for one nation. So what do you mean by one nation?
Depending on how you do it, by the way, there could be 50, or there could be 12, or there could be 1, and it's like.
So I'll just go with the definition real quick. A country considered a body of people united by common descent, history, culture, language, inhabiting a particular area or territory. The AI overview is a large group of people sharing common identity through culture, language, history, ethnicity, often aspiring to self-governance over that territory, distinct from a state, a political entity defined with borders and government.
Okay.
So the very moment a place is born, right? And they declare one people must dissolve political ties with Britain. Do you think this means one nation, since it didn't say 13 people must dissolve political ties with Britain?
I think Jefferson he was a writer, and I think he was being a little bit hyperbolic.
Oh, he's being poetic, was he?
I mean, a big influence on him was Thomas Paine. And if you've ever read Common Sense, that shit is like Alex Jones crazy.
Really?
Is it
Really?
crazy?
Yeah,
just meaning it hasn't come true yet.
I think when you use the words one and people, not one person, and people, it's very deliberate. I think what is happening here is that you're thinking, because you've read something else of his that seems a little bit of wacky, that he's being wacky here. But the Declaration says one people, and I think
One
that's
people.
very deliberate
And
wording.
referring
Cause,
to-
one struggle, one political identity, one people.
And to part of Jefferson was being aspirational, right? I mean, I don't think any of us really believe that at the time of the founding that all men were created equal, and they all deserve life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
You think
right?
Obviously, it was
of that, but relatively speaking,
they didn't believe that. That's what you said.
If you
no, I'm saying it was aspirational.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. So like for example, Jefferson had slaves. So it's aspirational. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, if you read his original draft of the Declaration, right, there was a whole paragraph about slavery where he fucking reamed the king for foisting that upon the American people.
Who
right?
cares about the original draft? We care about the final draft. That's what
Well,
matters.
I'm saying if we're looking at what Jefferson said, I mean, the Constitution was
I'm
written by
okay
committee.
with the original everything, because if you look at it again, when the language is deliberate with one people, right? The Revolutionary War wasn't why didn't Britain insist on 13 separate treaties then instead? right? They recognized the United States of America as one nation, right?
Well, no, in the Treaty of Paris,
even we fought as one nation. Who was the army? We had one continental army under who?
The Treaty of Paris specifically lists every state.
Right, but the treaty,
right?
But because it lists every state, what does it recognize the United States of America as? One entity.
Different states who are united.
Yeah. But okay, to give you an example, like, so I understand like where you're coming from.
What does that first Constitution say? The Union shall be perpetual. The Union. It's always been one.
Yeah, but it also
can't they be united and different?
But the Constitution was to form a more perfect union. And what I'm saying is, so where I'm getting the idea of the conception that the framers didn't really like, the people at the time didn't consider themselves as one nation, is if you read through like the first like 7 Federalist Papers, they're like, look, if we are going to survive as a nation, we have to be one nation. We can't be 13 fucking different states and doing this, each with their own currency. They all have their own currency.
Their own church.
You can't do anything else without.
It's got to start from somewhere,
Yeah, but
dude. It's got to start from somewhere. We are establishing our spot and doing our thing, and every state has a right of views, and we are going to start from somewhere. You really think this just fucking randomly happened? And they were radicals or some shit like that.
Well, then
like,
you're just agreeing with him, dogs. And
Stuff like the Declaration and stuff like the Constitution. My argument is, I'm saying stuff like the Declaration and stuff like the Constitution and the Federalist Papers. The whole point of that was to focus us from stop thinking about ourselves as like different states and start thinking about ourselves as Americans. And I'm saying that
can I ask you something? Let me ask you something, Base. Is currency what would be the word? Uniformity, because that's what you're talking about right now. They all have their own currencies. Is this a new thing amongst nations, or has this always been how nations worked? That it was always this uniform currency?
No. What I'm
answer the question. Did nations always have a uniformed currency?
Yeah.
You will.
No, no, they did not. Come on.
They still don't.
I mean, how far back are you? The Greece, like nation states, then
they did not. Man, nations
didn't have uniform currency. But at the time, there was like French currency and like Belgian currency, British. There was a pound sterling. There was all those. They all their individual currencies.
Dude, the German Confederation, the Swiss Confederation, the mad colonial empires before this. Italy and Spain had different mints amongst each other. It's never been a uniformed currency. This is a new thing.
Even within the territories,
this is a new thing, and you know why we're doing it now? So that America could have the top dollar of the world. So we controlled that shit, motherfucker.
Number one,
That's
baby.
why we're doing it.
Well,
we fucking did that for a reason, bro.
There was that one time when America dropped the gold standard.
And they had something.
There was that one time when you dropped the gold standard.
What was it? Dollars of Continental or something like that, where there was a uniform currency that they could.
Nobody wanted that shit.
Easy.
Because early on, we fucking tried to be the fucking
Meanwhile, I am yet to hear any contention with my platform, and I think Abe probably agrees with me because he's based.
Indeed. It's true.
Hey, Wally, I got a question though, Wally. What is heavy metal?
Oh no.
What is heavy metal?
Gentlemen.
It is the genre that originated with Black Sabbath.
That's for another platform.
Gentlemen.
We've been talking about.
I have to jump off. Easy. Thank you for having me up for a bit. It was a fun convo. Talk to you a little later.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, of course. We'll see you guys later.
God bless you,
bro.
God bless you. God bless you all.
God bless you, man.
Okay,
Hell yeah.
Wally, I got to tell you this. I've been.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like our friendly, grounded man has gone live, and it seems chat overwhelmingly would like me to join Emmett this evening. Emmett also sent me a friendly link to his panel, and so I figure we should hop over and visit him. If that's okay with all of you, I will do that now. So, here we go. I have not been watching what's going on over there, so we're going to jump on. Hello, and good day to you. You're a mic. No, you're a mic. No, you. What's wrong with my mic? Is it loud? What? What? I was doing it on purpose mostly, but, you know. Maybe you're a little loud. I've been voluntold. Okay, hold on. I gotta share this to my stream. Like, I'm just arguing with you, and randomly, because on my screen to my stream, it's just my face talking, so I'm talking to no one to the stream. They have no idea what's even happening. No, if you want to, the chat won't be shared because Emmett's using OBS. It's fine. This is fine. You know what? I could just raid everybody to you, and we could just do it on your show like you're doing it right now. Look, I'm going to just raid everybody over to Emmett's. I'm going to be on Emmett's, and we'll do the show on Emmett's, because Emmett's Emmett. But never forget that Emmett is grounded, okay? Never forget. Yes, I did. Yeah, it was amazing. It was freaking amazing. I laughed my ass off. I was like lurking because I have not felt well and my back was out and it was not good. But I did laugh at that. That was pretty freaking fantastic. So hold on, chat. I'm going to send you all over to Emmett, and I'm on Emmett's panel already, but tippy, homie. Oh, it's a good way to go. Hold on. Wait. I have to find you first. Emmett, is your name still Count Emmett? Why is it not working? That's what I have in, but it's not showing you. So now I have to find you. Hold on. I have to find you. I will find you. I will find you. I found you. Okay. Well, when I tried to raid to you, I put at Count Emmett and it did not show you. So now I'm just going to put the link in so it does show you. And then I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to raid you over. That's what I'm going to do. Right? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Shut up. Ladies and gentlemen, I am raiding you over to Emmett's. I'm already there. I'll see you in a minute. I can't speak English, evidently, so gentle everybody's. See you in a minute. God bless, chat. We'll see you at Emmett's.